All right. Last day of the week. Let's get to the weekend. You know what? It's kind of like when I run. I always say the harder I run, the sooner I'm done. The faster we talk, I think the sooner we can get off
Nah,
the
it
air.
doesn't work that way.
Oh, does it?
No.
Oh, son of a gun.
We're here till 1.
I'm on a word count. So as soon as I say my words, I get to leave. So as long as I do it by, 12:30, I can cut out of here early. I think that's the rule.
Thank goodness we're not paid by the word.
Yeah, it's true.
No, you should want to be paid by the word.
That's a good point. You get screwed. So your mic might never come on.
If we're paid by the word,
Yeah.
I'd be living in poverty.
Oh, hey, listen, we're trying to get you to talk more, pal. What do you want from me? Your mic's always open. I mean, RJ used to get his mic turned off by Tommy. Used to infuriate him, and I'm like, wait. I come in here, I'm like, Tommy, why are you turning RJ's mic off? First of all, I'm kind of curious what he has to say about this topic, and secondly, he's getting pissed off and complaining to me about it. I don't want to hear about it.
Tommy was wise beyond his years. He knew something. I hear the legislature's turning RJ's mic off.
I should have got him a T-shirt that said "More me, more me." That's what Tommy believed in. More me. I respect it. It worked out great for a long time. All right, welcome in. Pigskin's back. It's been a while since we've all been together in the studio. Wes is here. The Wizard is here, and I'm here. And if you want to be here too, you can. Well, don't stop by because the doors are locked. But you can come on the show at 661-1037. Hit us up on the Asher Record Live fan feedback if you like through our Listen Live button, or you can hit us on the First Arkansas Bank and Trust text line. Love to have you. Got Champs and Chumps coming up today, brought to you by Everbowl. Pigskin, have you been there yet?
No.
You dig it. It's really yummy, but it's also good for you.
Really?
Yeah, your wife would not yell at you
Like,
for going
like
to
what do they have?
It's kind of like a Christian, help me. It's like a frozen kind of
It's acai bowls. It's
Acai.
kind of isn't it yogurty?
yogurty.
Stuff.
Oh,
But then he's got all kinds of fruits and granola and stuff. It's good
You
for
had
you.
me at bowl. I love that stuff.
Buddy, I'm telling you, heart
Yeah.
healthy.
and the kids love it. I mean, like
Really?
I see these charges on my card all the time when my daughters are going.
All these young hipsters.
They love it.
Yeah.
But it's healthy and that's good. That's a
Good for
thing.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a charge on my card yesterday.
That's better than me eating Little Debbie's.
Wasn't Everbowl. It was a Mexican restaurant in Minneapolis.
Oh my God, it happened to me too. I had to cut up my card yesterday.
Yeah, same.
Wait, you guys got hacked?
That's
Both
weird.
of us
Y'all
on the
both
same
got-
day.
And the guy's like, so I
No
called.
way.
I texted Amex. First thing in the morning, I had a $28 charge on there. So they are great, by the way. Amex is so phenomenal. They're chat people anyway. So they're like, yeah, cut it up. They're like, it's been out of your possession. I'm like, it literally never leaves my house. It's
Yeah.
sitting in my house. It's a card that I only bought to get free baggage on my Delta flights. the guy at the Delta counter talked me into it one night. It was late night. I was like, yeah, whatever. What the hell? So, yeah, I got it. And so I called the restaurant yesterday, and the guy's like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. He goes, this happened like a month ago. Some guy from Chicago. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I haven't been in Minneapolis in like 15 years. So
I called my bank.
where was yours?
In Michigan.
Did
It
you
was
call the
Detroit.
restaurant?
No.
Was it a restaurant?
That was
My-
probably pigskin.
My
What was it?
it was a market, just like a little market, like a little corner store market, and it was a charge for like $3. It's been going on for 15 months, Justin.
Oh, you found all the back charges.
Because the banker was awesome. She started going back month after month after month. 38 charges, all ranging from $3 to $2. I never caught. I skip over the $3 to $2. It's the big purchases I look at. And
What's
okay.
weird is on my bank account, I probably wouldn't notice it, but on my credit
Amex,
card, I
because you
look.
don't use it.
And I get an alert every time there's an Amex charge.
Well, so what happened? They got a little. Either they sold the card number, or they got greedy yesterday, and they used it at a restaurant twice for like $25, $38, and because it was way out of state and different, my bank caught it. Called me. Is this you? And I'm like, no. And so we closed the account.
You bought drinks for everybody. That was nice.
And started looking. There were 5 charges yesterday. Roughly around $100 combined. And then she said, "Well, while I got you on the phone, look back. Is there anything from last month that you see?" And I was like, "Well, this one's in Detroit." And I haven't been to Detroit. And she's like, "Well, here, let me find it." And she typed it in, and just
People are paying money not to go to
38
Detroit.
charges, but they'd only been doing it for $3. Like I said, $3 here, $2 here, $3 here, and I never caught it. And then yesterday their pattern changed, and they started using it for bigger, or $34, $28, and the bank caught that.
Well, that's great.
They were awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, didn't want to start my day like that yesterday. Didn't really want to start the show like that today, but here we are.
Yeah.
Pigskin, what have you been doing?
Well, I've been doing the same stuff I always do.
Reading and preaching and such?
Yeah. Reading, preaching, drinking coffee, petting dogs.
Yeah.
Usual.
That's nice. We were really hoping. I was actually hoping not to see any you idiots today. I was hopeful to be in Fayetteville getting ready for a super regional.
This
but
time last week, you were in the Tall Cotton. You guys were anticipating big things.
Yep.
And they were against Santa Clara. And then TCU has been ruining a lot of people's seasons and a lot of things.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
They beat us in football in the playoff. They beat the Michigan tennis team. They beat the Arkansas baseball team. I'm like, when did TCU start getting good at everything?
I don't know.
They used to be the doormat in the Southwest Conference.
It's annoying.
It's
I know.
been a good year. You think about it for TCU.
Oh, TCU's been great this year. And
basketball
everything.
team.
Yeah, they were good in
they were
basketball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They were pretty good. They hit a lull for a while.
Well, they made the tournament. Go figure.
For them, that's pretty good. Yeah, we got some guests coming up here in a little bit. In addition to Pigskin, we've got Dick Girardi coming up at 10:30 today. He always comes on to talk about the big races, and obviously the Belmont, it seems, is going to be run now. Looks like they have cleared the air, so to speak, at Belmont, and things are going to be good enough at least to run up there this weekend. Scary stuff with the Canadian Fires. Apparently, I was reading a story about that this morning. This may or may not be true, but unlike a lot of other places, they basically, if it's in remote enough areas, they just let it burn off. They don't even mess with it. So that's fine, but it's affecting our sporting events.
Well,
We need
most
to get
of
it together.
Canada, no one lives there.
True.
Rodney
I think-
Dangerfield said Canada, they started a country and nobody showed up. So you got like 30 million people in a landmass that's about as big as America.
Yeah.
Doesn't like 95% live within 100 miles of the US?
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Just
think-
Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Tom Murphy will join us at 11 o'clock. We will talk to him about the visit Arkansas got yesterday, see if he's got any updates for us on that. And also, we will visit with him about the end of the baseball season and kind of his final thoughts on all that. We've got the Red White Report. It's brought to you by Big O Tires. Lance is coming up from the Travs. They've got an event going on this weekend that we want to talk about. And for youngsters, will be a blast. And then Philip Martin's coming in. And the best reviewed movie I saw today in the Democrat Gazette was the one about Cheetos. And it's getting good buzz. I saw Ava Longoria in an interview the other day talking about it. It's her first.
She's in the movie?
She's a director. It's
Oh.
her first directing job. So it's getting good buzz. I'm happy to hear that. Maybe she'll get nominated for an Academy Award for Best Director. So we'll see what Philip's thoughts are on it. Christian, it leads us to our question of the day. And I think I'm going to be on an island over here on this one, but we were debating it on the morning show a little bit too. But I think I'm 100% in my own camp here.
What is your favorite type of Cheeto? You got traditional crunchy, traditional puffs, flaming hot, or other?
They do have some other off the wall,
Man,
a couple other off the wall flavors. I'm a puff guy.
I love puffs.
I'm an all day, every day puff guy. Maybe I'm not on an island.
No,
though.
I love puffs, but I was eating the crunchy ones the other day and feeding them to my dogs and my granddaughter.
really.
All of us were eating Cheetos together.
You
It was a great
You
moment.
should throw an okie doke at them and give them the flaming hot sometime.
The flaming hot. I love hot food. I just don't think Cheetos should be hot.
I
All
like
of this
flaming
sounds good right now. I'm starving, so any of it sounds good right now.
Cheetos is a guilty pleasure. I love Cheetos.
They're really good.
Sometimes, when I get a Subway sandwich, I go for the Cheetos.
So
And
I
I know
did
it sounds weird. I'm trying to eat healthy, like a tuna sandwich, and I get
I did
Cheetos
something
with it.
intelligent the other day when I had my little bowl of Cheetos. I got one of those big paper towels. I put it under the water just a little bit to get it damp so I could wipe the orange off my fingers.
what?
Ah.
Why? Why?
Well, it's either that or let the dogs lick my fingers,
Well,
and I thought this would be
or
more
you can-
sanitary.
You lick your finger. That's the,
I don't
the way
lick
to
my own
top it
fingers.
off.
I'm-
Oh, you're
I'm
missing.
civilized, Wes. I'm not a savage.
It's like
Good
drinking the
grief.
milk at the bottom of your cereal.
No,
I mean,
not
it's-
exactly the
yeah,
same.
Yeah,
You think that's
finish
you
it
think
off.
it's the same?
No, I don't think it's
I
exactly.
don't think
I
it's the
think it
same
is.
either.
It's the
No,
same
not at
thing.
all.
That's
No.
it's like the best part right
Well,
there.
this is the guy that folds up his plate and eats the last crumbs, so
That's
he
true.
gets like every morsel out
Well,
of
no,
it.
wait. Just to be clear, those are protein chips, and so that's a lot of protein right there. That last mouth, right
It's
there. That's
also like
finish it off.
$5 a
and
bag.
that's what
So
I'm about to say. They're like $4.
So I was getting some shoes the other day, and I noticed on the wall over at Fleet Feet, they have all of these little honey protein chew things. And I was laughing to myself. I'm like, that's what Bubba was feeding Phil Elson the other day. And Elson was trying to call the game and start,
What were they?
These honey protein chew things are
They're-
like these freakish health things that like runners and marathoners and stuff eat. But I'd never heard of them.
They're beet
until-
chews.
Bubba was pushing them the other day on
Yeah.
Elson, and usually Elson is eating peanut M&Ms.
That's his
That's his
move.
go-to snack.
To
I had some
bring it-
last night.
To bring it to sports, that's when Arkansas Borfin hit the 2-run
They
home
started
run,
hitting,
and Wagner
that's-
followed with the solo home
that's
run.
right.
They were eating beet chews,
That's what it was.
and that's company provided them with a bunch of these chews, and that's
okay.
beet
instead
chews,
of
like
doing
beet
the beet
juice.
juice, it's a beet chew.
Well, if you
Okay.
want them, they got them over at Fleet Feet. So there you go.
I don't. But
I didn't either. I got the shoes. I didn't get the other
I
thing.
chug my beet juice and I'm done with it. And
The
that's-
early returns on our favorite type of Cheeto is Crunchy is the leader at 43%. Puffs has got 27%. Flamin' Hot has 25%. And Other has 5%. And somebody has commented
Other
Cheetos
what
or
other?
jalapenos.
jalapeno.
Yeah.
I've never had them.
Never heard.
I've
of it.
seen them.
Okay.
Navy Mike said none, which doesn't surprise me.
Oh God, Navy Mike, shut up. Jeez, Louise.
Now,
Shut-
how can you be against Cheetos?
He's an idiot. He's a
Come on,
communist.
Mike. You're better
Not
than
really.
that.
He served our country proudly. We appreciate you, Mike, but you are a jerk.
Well, didn't they give Cheetos to the military people?
I don't know.
They should.
I mean, not all of them, I hope.
Well, some of them.
Leave some for us. All right, let's just go through some sports stories and anything that moves the needle for you guys. Feel free to weigh in. Darrell Walker announced the signing of Creed Williamson to a national letter of intent. So he's going to be a Little Rock Trojan, 6'8", 230 pounds, and a standout player over at Little Rock Christian, part of their state championship team. Ranked 139th nationally, according to prephoops.com.
Creed had moved off and was at a prep school this past year, and he needed that extra year to develop his body. I mean, he grew into his body. He's a
That
different
was
looking.
Corliss Jr. That was,
Yeah, that's on.
that's
That's
right.
the guard. He's back with the team this year. But Creed is the extra year of development has paid off, and he's coming back home to play.
Yeah, Little Rock Christian just
power
got good
forward.
all of a sudden at basketball. Man, they're killers.
Well, it only takes a couple stars, and they have at least that.
They
So
do.
they do have some players, or did. Also, what?
Nothing.
What's so funny?
Wes is making.
Was that below the
I
camera?
don't
It
wanna
was
say
below
what
the
he said.
camera. That's why I didn't like that.
Get the hell out of here, PA. I don't want to hear it from you. Bite me. Whatever.
Like
We're
the
having some
link, right?
internecine high school jousting in here. I love it.
Look,
Yes.
it's the largest private school in the state. That stands to reason they're going to have some good athletes there. What do you want?
Yeah, and for somebody at PA to say that is particularly rich.
Yeah.
No, you can't recruit at a private school.
You can
they,
recruit.
they put all kinds of rules
Listen,
in place.
there's no cheating anymore anywhere. I mean, you know what Ole Miss has been doing forever, and Texas A&M,
Listen,
everybody does it.
high
now.
school is more restricted than college now.
No doubt.
Yes,
It's
it is.
ridiculous.
You're right.
Who cares?
Yeah, just try to transfer into a private school right now.
Yeah.
If you live in Little
Well,
Rock,
that's
you
that-
will not play next
That's
year.
that Arkansas public school nonsense. You know, oh, they're no cheating. I'm like,
Well,
oh,
they're
shut
now they
up.
got relegation, so they should quit complaining. So, I mean, again,
That's like English soccer.
oh, dude, in 2 years, PA will be winning the 7A. You know, just wait. Again, it doesn't punish PA. It only punishes
Everyone
the people
else.
in 6A this year.
It does.
Greenwood would have been sitting on another title this year if it hadn't been for PA moving on.
No doubt.
Leave him alone.
That's right.
Don't punish Greenwood. And Catholic might have made the finals, too.
Mm.
Nolan Richardson's going to add a third Hall of Fame honor to his illustrious resume. He will be inducted into the third annual National JUCO Foundation Hall of Fame. It'll be held June. Oh, heck, I guess they just held it. It was last night. I missed it.
Kevin Trainer was up there and tweeted some pictures there at the ceremony.
That was not much of a heads up on that, huh? I was like, usually they give us these announcements and it's like, oh, it'll be in 6 months.
No, I think we talked about it like a year ago, and
I
then
don't
it just
remember.
kind of slides, and you kind of forget about it. And last night was the night.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Coach.
I was surprised he wasn't already in, honestly.
Yeah,
After
Yeah,
being
same.
So successful in junior college,
doubt,
and
no
winning
doubt.
the title.
I'm with you. Shocking news out of Oklahoma City. Oklahoma won the national championship in softball. Who saw that coming? They actually gave up a run, which I thought was nice of them to let Florida State score. They win 3-1 in the final. One of the most dominating seasons we've ever seen in any sport in college. They stretched their record to 53 wins in a row and counting. That's just dumb.
How do you go 61-1 in anything?
Well,
That is amazing.
it is incredible.
Amazing.
Kudos to the team that beat them. I think they lost a
Baylor.
conference game. Was that it?
Lost to Baylor.
Okay.
Mhm.
First team to win back-to-back since UCLA in 1990. Its 984 winning percentage is the best in Division I history. They actually were down 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth, and then they answered back and won the game and claim another title.
Florida State was really salty. Good team, but Oklahoma's just a juggernaut.
No doubt.
The
I
center
watched
field-
every inning of every game.
Did you see? Well, you saw the center fielder
I
rob the
did.
home run
Unbelievable.
last
3
night?
runs. That was the game
That
right
was
there.
probably the play of the
that
game.
was the game. It was.
I mean, you think of
That
Oklahoma.
had happened to them the night
the
before.
night before.
Yeah.
You think of pitching and hitting, right? It was
absolutely.
defense that won the championship.
It
Kind of
was.
fitting.
It was. Well, here's the thing. They have such an advantage. What she's built, it's like Alabama football, say, 5 years ago, Georgia football now. All the good players at all the other schools want to go there. The starting pitcher last night for Oklahoma was Michigan's best pitcher last year. Michigan has had
Wow.
a historically good softball program, but the coach retired. This girl graduated, transfers to Oklahoma, starts and wins the championship. So-
Here are some numbers from this team. During the 53-game winning streak, they rattled off 23 wins against ranked opponents, and they posted an overall run differential of plus 371.
Wow.
It's
That's
just
insane.
ridiculous.
Insane.
They had 4 batters hit over 400. They had 3 pitchers with an ERA under 1.
Remember when we had UCA's coach on and you asked what sets them apart? And she said, well, when the All-American list comes out, and they basically have an All-American at every position.
They had the best hitting, the best pitching, and the best fielding in the nation.
It's hard to beat a team like that.
Yes, it is.
At least twice. For sure, it's hard to do. A couple other things from the world of sports. I'm going to take a break, and we'll talk to Dick Girardi on the other side. Pigskin, what are you looking for over there?
Tennis.
Okay.
Djokovic and Alcaraz are playing, and I can't find it. Yeah, it's tied.
Is it on ESPN?
Well,
Deuce?
maybe.
Two is
hit
I'll
two.
see it when I
6
see
is
tennis
ESPN.
playing here in a second.
I don't think you're going to go through 100 other channels. Just hit two.
Two. Okay.
Two. It's on two. If it's on anything, it's on two.
You know, I'm a big Djokovic man, but Alcaraz on clay is rugged.
I'm not sure. Is it on now?
Yeah, it's on the tennis channel probably.
I don't think we have the tennis channel.
Maybe
now.
NBC. I don't know. It's on something.
Anyway, the NCAA is tweaking how the block. I love this. They're tweaking how the block charge is going to be ruled in men's basketball. I'm like, okay, cool. They're going to screw it up in a whole new way now. The NCAA Playing Rules Oversight Panel approved rule changes on Thursday. Okay, listen to this. I'm like, this is new? This is a new rule? Okay, whatever. Requires a defender to be in position to draw a charge at the time the offensive player plants a foot to go airborne for a shot. If the defender arrives after the player has planted a foot, officials have been instructed to call a block where there's contact. Defenders had to be in position to draw a charge before the offensive player went airborne under previous rules. So it's going to be earlier in the process.
Wait, what's the difference?
So when you
Before they go airborne and
before you plant your foot, we're talking about a quarter of a second
Yeah.
here. It's ridiculous.
before they go airborne means their foot is in the ground,
Yeah,
right?
I guess.
Yeah, before you go airborne,
Oh,
you
Pigskin.
have to
Just
jump.
had it. It sounds a little arbitrary as a rule change, doesn't it?
Yeah. Pigskin, I'm really glad you found this.
Yeah, I have my moments.
Djokovic, it's 1-1.
Yeah,
the
one
third
set apiece. They're in the third.
That's good. Well, you're going to lose us for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, Rick Barnes was on this committee, and he was kind of the one that was speaking out. And he said the goal is to have less charges called. And then they went to whole player safety aspect. Yeah, they want less contact in basketball, and they felt like this would keep players from trying to draw as many charges, therefore limiting the number of hits in basketball.
You know, I can be a bit hyperbolic. I know that shocks you. I have called basketball for quite a while now. I can't remember 2 injuries from block charge plays.
I don't agree with the injury aspect of it, but I do want less charges.
Well, here's a question, though. Okay, so if they're trying to eliminate charges or lessen them, isn't that going to encourage aggressors to kind of jump into people and do more things like that? Like a Zion Williamson, if he ever gets healthy and ever plays 3 games in 6 months.
The only thing he's jumping into lately is bed.
But he could, but he could be running over people, and if they're not going to call the charge, wouldn't that encourage
Nobody's taking
aggression?
a charge from Zion.
Well, a mental man might, but yeah.
I could see Draymond taking one. By the way, we'll talk about Zion in a minute. I meant to get to that yesterday. We didn't get to it. Also, I got to give a special game ball here on this Friday to Michael Fiegels. He's not going to be my champ of the week. Made a 25-foot birdie on his final hole to shoot 12 under on the Corn Ferry Tour. That was good for a 59.
59.
First round of the BMW Charity Pro-Am in Greer, South Carolina. The 9th sub-60 in the history of the developmental tour, which is now the Corn Ferry Tour. So kudos to him. That was pretty impressive. All right, so let's get to the Zion thing real quick, and then we'll hit a break. Do we even have time? I guess we really don't have time.
Dick's coming on in 4 minutes.
Okay. Sometimes the stories write themselves. That's what I want to talk about in the first place. Anyway, we'll talk to Dick Girardi coming up in a little bit, and we'll talk about what Zion's been doing with anyway, we'll talk about Zion coming up in a minute, too. It's 10:26. Yes, what's up, Pigskin?
That's the greatest shot I've ever seen in my life.
Speaking of
tennis.
hyperbolic, give
Oh
it to
my
me.
goodness!
What'd he do?
Watch.
Have you ever played on clay?
Watch. Yes. Look at that.
That is amazing.
That's a winner.
He ran back to the baseline and
Oh my
had to hit
goodness,
it
he hit it from
sideways,
there.
and he got it to go cross
Oh,
court.
he's a freak.
And did it hit the tape and go over?
No, it just went over and hit the line.
That's amazing.
And his opponent is giving him a hand clap.
Djokovic.
You got to. It's
Yeah.
like
Hell of a
it's
shot.
insane. It is.
Alcaraz is up 1-0 in the third.
Oh,
They've
this-
split the first
he
two.
might win this, even though I love Djokovic. But Djokovic is old.
Didn't he play in the finals? We were talking about Wimbledon last year. Was it him? Because we were
Djokovic?
No, Alcaraz. Because remember, you were like, "Don't bet on him. He's not going to win."
No, it's U.S. Open.
That's what I'm thinking.
And I
Okay.
told you he was going to win, and he did win.
No, not the final.
Yeah. Go check the
No,
tape.
the event we were talking. Who was he playing against then? So was there some?
It wasn't Djokovic because
No,
they
no,
wouldn't
no,
let
it
him
was-
play because of the vaccination.
No. It
thing.
was somebody that was like lower profile. There was a huge
Ah.
potential upsetter. I thought Alcaraz lost that
No,
match that
he
we were talking
won.
about.
He won
Okay.
the U.S. Open last year.
Okay, I got to look at who he played. Anyway, it's 10:27. Sorry, we'll figure this out later.
Hey, it's a great weekend to go out to Guatney Chevrolet, Gregory Street exit in Jacksonville. They got a bunch of 2023s on the lot right now. They're trying to get rid of them. The 2024s are coming, so they need room. So they're giving you all kinds of incentives right now to buy. Go to the website, GuatneyChevrolet.com. You can see all these incentives. You can see all the inventory. Pick out the vehicle you want. Then go to the Gregory Street exit in Jacksonville. How about no payments for 90 days? In fact, there are some vehicles out there, no payments for 120 days. And they're still paying top dollar for your vehicle. They're looking for quality, used cars, trucks, SUVs. They're going to pay you top dollar for it. Trade it in, pay it off, put some money down on a new vehicle, and drive away this weekend with the new car from Guatney Chevrolet.
I remember what it was now. It was Tiafo who captured everybody's attention. We were all locked in on him, the American route, and form was a great story. And he got to Alcaraz in the semis, and you're like, no chance at all. And he went 5 sets, but he lost.
Mhm.
So you were right.
Yeah.
But that was what I was thinking of, actually. So
I try not to be, and I told you so.
Yeah.
I was told I do
Well, no,
that too often.
I was right, actually, here. I knew it wasn't the final. That wasn't what I was talking about. And you were right. No, I knew you told me to pick
Alcaraz.
somebody, related there. But anyways, the Tiafo story was the one that kind of
Oh,
got
yeah,
a
he was
solid
beating
gauge last year.
everybody. And I'm like, it ends here. And,
Yeah.
and it did.
Yeah, but it took
So.
5 sets at least. At least he
Yeah,
took
it
him.
did,
How's he
did.
done this year? Have we been
He-
keeping up with
I
him?
think he got to the quarters or 4th round or something before he got beat. He had, he had a decent tournament.
Has anybody played on clay before?
Yeah, I have.
How was it?
You slide.
Is it fun?
It's weird.
Yeah.
Weird. It's not usually on regular surfaces. You plant your foot and you stop.
Right.
On this, you plant your foot and you slide. So you got to learn to slide into shots.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
10:29. We'll take a break. Well, if you have not made your way to New York yet, and you aren't planning to, but you still want to wager on the race, Oaklawn's here to help. Your Oaklawn Anywhere account pretty handy this weekend because we've got the third of the Triple Crown races happening this weekend. Of course, it is the Belmont Stakes, and you can wager on your Oaklawn Anywhere account. Oaklawn obviously open this weekend. Randy Hauser is playing tonight at Oaklawn. If you want to catch some live music in the event center, of course, Pops Lounge always has live music on the weekends. Chris Jansen's coming up. We got Ricky Skaggs, an Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Four Tops, lots of good music coming up. All the details at oaklawn.com. You can book your room online as well and check out some of the great restaurants. Also, of course, the Oak Room open for the weekend. So if you're looking for a place to dine tonight, somewhere nice and special, that's a good spot to go. And of course, you get 24/7 Smoke Free Casino on top of all that. And they got the great pool and everything else. It's that time of year, baby. Get down to Hot Springs. Check out Oaklawn, Arkansas's only racing casino resort. Let's go to the Brandon Moving and Storage Hotline and talk to our good friend Dick Girardi, who we had scheduled a while back, but Dick, I was kind of afraid we weren't actually going to get to talk about the Belmont, the way the fires and the smoke were trending this week. Luckily, it looks like everything's going to be dandy enough for them to run this weekend. How are you?
I am doing fine. Yeah, I mean, Tuesday and Wednesday, and even early yesterday, it was pretty scary. But yeah, but the skies are blue today. No more orange flavor and no more smoke around. So yeah, it looks like we're good for today and tomorrow.
That's good. So you're out there this weekend?
I'm actually not going to be able to make it. I will be watching on TV with everybody else.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, hopefully the air quality in your home is good for the weekend. That's the important thing.
Yeah, I'm only about 70 miles from Belmont Park, so I could feel it taste it the other day for sure.
I gotcha. Well, good. Well, I'm glad things are trending in the right direction. So let's talk about the way things shook out here. And I could argue it's as good a field as we've seen in the Triple Crown races so far. We've got a local connection in this one as well, Wes. You got Tappet Shoes, and I think, I'm sure actually that Steve Landers was on with the morning guys today, and he's got a stake in that horse right next to Tappet Trice. So just pick your Tappet, I guess. Then the other angle here is Brad Cox has 3 in here. What'd you think about the race? We finally get to see Forte, I guess, on a big stage.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's such a much better field than the Preakness, and we've obviously lost all the no-hopers from the Derby. So, yeah, you got Forte, would have been the favorite in the Derby, easily the best resume in the race, right? I mean, 4 grade ones, 2-year-old champ, beats Mage twice in Kentucky and Florida, and then Mage first wins the Derby. The issue there, of course, he hasn't run. It's just April 1st. We're talking 10 weeks, so that's a problem. That Angel of Empire, your Arkansas Derby winner, the 2 out of the other Oaklawn race that ran 1-2. So, yeah, it's a lot of Arkansas connections for sure. And the Preakness winner, National Treasure, Tappet Trace, the Bluegrass winner. So a really, really good field.
What's the word on Forte and how his workouts have gone since April?
You know, in watching him, I think he looks fine, but this is kind of unprecedented, and there's no way in the world Todd Butcher and the Connections wanted this. But he hasn't run in 10 weeks, and now he's going to try to win at the longest distance we run races in the country. That's a problem. So he looked fine, but unlike the rest of these horses, he didn't get a chance to run in the Derby, didn't run in the Preakness, hasn't been running at all. So it's a fitness and race sharp question. And are you willing to take, like he's 5-2 at betonline.ag at the moment, are you willing to take that price on a result that's really unprecedented for a horse to win off 10 weeks in the Belmont?
Talking to Dick Girardi on the Brandon Moving and Storage Hotline. It's brought to you by betonline.ag. We talked about the field a little bit here. As far as post position with 9 horses in there, does it make much difference to you?
I don't think so, because it's this big 1.5 mile racetrack. You know, it's one time around at Belmont Park. Yeah, most of our racetracks in the country are 1 mile in circumference, like Churchill and Pimlico. But yeah, there's so much room to maneuver, and these turns are so wide and sweeping that all the horses from wherever they're starting, their jockeys are going to have more than enough time to get to the position they want.
So obviously Brad Cox has a long shot on the rail. We talked about that one a little bit with Tappet Shoes. He's got, Angel of Empire, which our listeners know well, and Hit Show. What do you think about Angel of Empire's chances in here, or do you like one of his other horses better?
I like Angel of Empire the best of 3 Cox horses, 3rd in the Derby. Could not have been more impressive winning the Arkansas Derby. And he probably just got a little too far behind in Kentucky. And they're putting blinkers on. usually trains in blinkers. I think they're just thinking that might be just a little extra they need to get there in this race. Obviously, he's a Pennsylvania bred, so that has some interest for me. They stole the Belmont from all those Pennsylvania people in '04 when Marty Jones didn't win, so we'd like to see a PA bred get there this time.
Yeah.
I remember reading or hearing the owners, Red Route 1, the longer the race, the better off they felt like they'd be. Is there enough speed in this race that maybe Red Route 1 can come from behind and win this thing?
I think he's got the same problem he had in Pimlico, guys. There's just not enough speed to set up any kind of a late kick, which he had in that race he won in Oaklawn. And I actually thought he was going to run better than he did at Pimlico. Maybe it was just the pace, but he's kind of a one-pace horse. He doesn't give you this big, move. So that would be my concern. I don't know that he's going to like it longer any more than anybody else is. That's the part of this race that we're not going to know the answer to until after they run it. Who likes the mile and a half?
Talking to Dick Girardi on the Brandon Moving and Storage Hotline again, brought to you by BetOnline.ag. So who do you like in here?
I like Tapit Trice. I liked him prior to the Derby in the Belmont. I never liked him in the Derby. I just didn't think that was his right race. And if you remember, he was 18th of 18 as they hit the backstretch of the Derby. So he took all that dirt. He ended up finishing 7th. But Todd Pletcher's a master and a horse who runs okay in the Derby. And like Mo Donegal last year, passes the Preakness, waits 5 weeks. And he's also a son of Tapit. Tapit has had 4 Belmont winners in the last decade. So the combination of Pletcher, who knows how to win the race, son of Tapit, I like Tapit Trice Farm.
And give me a value pick here, Dick.
Yeah, how about Arcangelo, the Peter Pan winner? He's at 10-1 at Bet Online at the moment. I think he's got a real chance at a good price. It's his first venture into the Triple Crown this year, and I think he may get overlooked for that. And I'll give you a fun one, too. Il Miracolo is 50-1 on the line, but he's 2-1 to finish last in one of the BetOnline.ag prompts. I love this horse to finish last
Okay.
at 2-1.
All right. Any other prop bets you're on?
Yeah, maybe the winning distance over under a length and a half. I kind of like the over because all these horses are getting tired, and usually whoever takes the lead in the stretch wins. Having said that, both of the Triple Crown races so far have been pretty close, but
Okay.
I'll try the over a length and a half. That's essentially an even money bet.
All right. I like that. And you can also do the Brad Cox bet, too. He's, last I saw, plus 180 for a Brad Cox horse to win. So you can get 3 of the 9 at almost 2-1. So obviously,
Not a bad deal.
yeah, no doubt.
How about the rematch between Secret Oath and Clairiere?
Yeah, I think Clairiere is a little better. Not a lot better, but a little better. And they're such cool fillies. It's just fun to watch them. And the fact that they're both still running, right? And they're obviously worth, Clairiere's worth a fortune as a broodmare. She's 5 years old and is still running. And of course, Secret Oath won the Kentucky Oaks last year. I think a slight edge to Clairiere, but that's a really close between those two.
Good one. All right, well, Dick, listen, I appreciate it. Enjoy the time and the fresh air, and we will catch you around Breeders' Time.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy.
See ya.
Dick Girardi, always good stuff. Really appreciate him. BetOnline.ag, and for those of you who don't know him, longtime horse racing reporter, columnist for the Philly Daily News from 85 to 2017, in case you're interested. But certainly he's been doing it for a long time.
He said something fascinating.
What's that?
He said that horse was 2-1 to finish last.
Yeah.
You can bet on people to finish last.
I didn't know that.
I'm going to bet on Michigan basketball to finish last in the Big Ten next year. I didn't know you could bet on someone to finish last.
I wonder what the over-under is on games for Zion Williamson next season.
Wow.
So for those who missed it, Zion had a bad week. So he had a good week and a bad week. He and his girlfriend, Akima, are celebrating the birth of their baby girl, or their, I guess, the announcement of their baby girl that's on the way. Yeah. She's not here yet. And then apparently he has a side piece who is a quote-unquote Instagram model named Mariah Mills, who not only said that she's been hooking up with him, but she had text messages from him that she was sharing online, or I guess, I don't know if it was taken from DMs or whatever. But
Yeah, it looked like it was on Snapchat. And also, you can go on Twitter and see the details of what they've done together.
Yes, it's really interesting. I mean, Zion's quite creative, apparently. She also is claiming that she was the impetus for getting him back in shape and getting him
She
encouraged to
didn't
get
do a
back in the
great
court.
job, to be honest.
She sure didn't. He's in better shape than she is, but still, it doesn't make any difference. So, needless to say, and again, if you're a Pelicans fan or an NBA fan, which we all are, and we all like watching Zion play, it is a little frustrating to think that this is what he's been spending his time doing. I'm like, buddy, we got to get you on the court at some point. I mean,
Maybe like swim or work out or
yeah.
Pilates or something.
I mean, he's burning calories apparently, but again,
not that many.
Here's what's amazing to me. I don't care what the guy does in his spare time. I mean, he's an NBA player. You got the right to do whatever you want. You got to catch hell for it, though, if you're not being honest with the ladies, apparently. But it's funny to me that he makes this big social media announcement that he's got a baby on the way with this girl, and then he tries to tell his side piece, one of them at least, that it's not his girlfriend. And I'm like, what did you think was going to happen? At least give her a heads up. Oh, and then he was also apparently trying to move her to New Orleans,
Right.
the side piece.
Why even make like a big announcement
Right.
if that's not your girl?
Yeah, you tell the baby mama, hey, look, I'm a very private person. I don't want to put all this out on social media. That's my personal business, honey. I'm excited about the baby. I'm glad that we're going to have a child.
You're an NBA player. You got money to keep it on the low if you want to.
Yeah, I don't understand what the thinking is there. Oh, and he also said, he wanted to move this, again, I'm making air quotes, Instagram model to New Orleans. And he said, how much is it going to cost? Like he was going to have to give her a paycheck or something, a monthly stipend or something. I'm sure that's probably not that uncommon either. But I'm like, man, you're going to blow through all your money, buddy. Let's get focused here. Let's lock it in.
Yeah,
Anyway.
there's probably, I mean, I'm not going to say most NBA players, but there's probably a lot of NBA players that do stuff like this.
Yeah.
But they're smart enough to,
Yeah,
maybe have an NDA or something.
Well,
and
don't put a lady
people
on
can't
social
come
media
out.
if you don't think. I mean, what do you think's gonna happen? Again, I would have given her a heads up, like, look, I didn't mean it, but I accidentally got this girl pregnant. But I can't wait to see you. Do you still want to move to New Orleans? I mean, just tell her. What are you afraid of?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, there's other Instagram models that will move to New Orleans with you any day of the week, buddy. You're Zion Williamson. Seems like a nice kid, and he's very talented, and he's got a great future if he can get back on the court. But
Doesn't seem particularly bright, though.
well, listen, there are many men who have been led by other parts of their body than their brain over the years. So he's certainly not alone in that regard.
The way of the transgressor is hard.
I
Says
mean,
the
you
Bible.
mentioned it. You said it. He's a kid. At some point, he's got to grow up.
Well, he's about to.
Well, he's got a lot of money.
You got a bunch of kids. You're going to grow up one way or the other.
Well, that's the other thing too. I mean, I don't want to be writing checks to multiple women either. So he needs to be a little more careful, probably.
What did Kanye say? She get half. So,
Yeah, I don't want to be writing checks till they're 18 for a whole bunch of people. But anyway, I like Zion, so I'm rooting for him. So I hope he can stay out of harm's way with some of these young ladies.
If he gets back on the court and plays well, we'll forget about any of this.
I'm just waiting for him to get back on the court and play, period. I don't care if he plays well.
Well, he does play well when he's on the court.
That is true. It is almost a given. It's 10:46. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and wrap up the hour. We got a little bit, speaking of the NBA, preview tonight's finals. And we got a little bit from the commissioner. Speaking of players who are in hot water.
That 2018 draft ain't looking so hot.
Yeah, poor John Morant's in some trouble still. And it's funny because
2019, I should say.
somebody said, the commissioner wants to move the focus onto the finals, but he keeps talking about Ja. It's like, yeah,
They keep asking.
yeah, well, it's understandable.
You're going to do an interview with the commissioner. You got to ask him about that. So wet across central Arkansas. Rain, roads are slick. If you're sliding around, that means you probably need some new tires. Big O Tires and Cabot and Conway can take care of you. Big O Tires has a great selection of tires, name brand tires, plus they have the Big O Tire, great alternative tire. Let them take care of you. And in Big O Tires, they have the latest technology to keep your vehicle running better than ever. Don't call yourself a tire store if you can't do alignments. At Big O Tires and Conway and Cabot, they do complimentary alignment checks. Brakes, yep, they do that too. You can ask about their free shuttle. Big O Tires does a lot more than just tires. They got mechanics on hand ready to help you out. It's Big O Tires in Cabot and Conway. In Conway, it's on Harkrider, and Cabot, it's Prospect Court, right in front of Kroger. It's Big O Tires, the team we trust.
10:51. Welcome back in the zone. We're going to wrap up our first hour here. Again, if you want to join us, it's not a bad time. 661-1037. You want to talk tennis? Let's see. We set the table with a whole bunch of topics. Belmont, Zion Williamson. You want to talk about Ja Morant and the trouble he's facing?
Track and field.
Track and field.
NBA Finals.
Yes, NBA Finals. Let's start with Adam Silver talking about Ja Morant, and then we'll get to the matchup tonight in the finals.
Thank you for being here. We were talking about this last week sometime when you were addressing during the press conference the whole Ja Morant situation. And all of us up here understood why you want to wait until the finals are over to really address that. What I want to ask is, when you consider the kind of decision that you're expected to hand down, it doesn't seem like it's going to be just about Ja Morant. You want to make sure to send a message to the league itself. There's certain things that will and will not be tolerated. Can you speak to that at all?
Well, I think that's right, but I want to be careful only in that my job is to measure that individual's conduct in that moment. And I get a little nervous when people talk about sending a message, because sometimes it implies you may not be are being fair to that individual player. But there's no question in this league that there's something called conduct detrimental in the league. And it's not just conduct that may be negative. We want to portray a positive image in terms of our players in this league. So that's, of course, something I take into account.
Okay, cool.
After hearing the commissioner speak, I guess this is the third interview I've heard. I'm more convinced than ever that he's going to be suspended for, I think we were saying 25 games.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me
Half
if
a
it's more.
season.
Half a season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think it's excessive.
Well,
but-
Zion's spreading the message of love for
Well,
the NBA, so he's got that going for
It
him.
may be excessive, but they're trying to make an example.
Yeah, again, he didn't break any laws. It's dumb, but it's not a law deal. So
But they can
Did you
do
hear-
whatever they want.
Did you
So-
hear the argument from Ja Morant's lawyers that they said it was a toy gun? It's like, come on, guys.
prove that it wasn't.
And the commissioner addressed that, and he said it doesn't matter. It's still what you're portraying. You're portraying holding a gun, playing with the gun while you're in a car, and it's not a good look for the NBA. And he doesn't care if it's toy gun, real gun, or not. It's what it looks like.
I don't think
is all
you
that
can
matters.
suspend a guy for half a season for holding a toy gun in a car. But
Yeah, he can.
well, he can do whatever he
He's
wants.
the
It's pretty
commissioner.
stupid,
He's
though.
got the free hand to do whatever he wants.
In
with
the
this.
last
That's
interview
dumb.
I heard with him, he went into helping Ja. He said,
Mhm.
I don't want to punish the guy and have him out of the NBA and suspend him. I want to help him while he's out and not in the NBA. We've got to fix him.
He's not in the NBA right now.
He's too talented. He's still
Yeah.
a member of the NBA.
Well, they're not playing. He's got 3 months to get right. Like, why suspend? Here's my thing. First of all, you're going to impact Memphis negatively, which is, I mean, again, that's part of the
like
deal
he has it.
on the court. I'm saying.
Mm.
To me, the Grizzlies don't necessarily deserve to have him out for half a year over that. I mean, you got 3 months to. You want to send him to gun rehab? What are you going to do? What do you think's going to
That's
happen?
basically what he's
Okay,
talking
that's
about.
You
fine.
can go
We
to
just-
Vacation Bible School.
That's cool.
That would help.
You can send him up and hang out with the monks up at Subiaco.
Absolutely.
I mean,
They'd
listen,
pray with
you
him.
get 3 months to get him right. I think suspending him for half a season is ridiculous. I do.
The monks could pray over his guns.
I mean, but listen, if you want to punish the guy, that's what hurts the most is his money and his playing time. But I think it's
Well,
excessive.
they did also. Adam Silver said, I think this was maybe last week or a couple weeks ago, that there was more that we
Yeah.
don't know about.
Oh, there's more?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's
Do you
what he said.
remember what Vincent Vega said to Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction?
He's
Just because it's excessive doesn't mean it didn't happen. So there's that. I'm just
I
saying.
was going to tell you what he said. I was actually watching the clip this morning when
I don't
they
know.
went in.
I don't know if it's worth $5, but it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
Big
milkshake.
Kahuna Burger. I was watching the scene when they went in and got Marcellus Wallace's soul back from those idiots
Marcellus.
in the room. I still don't understand why they didn't shoot Marvin. They killed everybody else in that room. They didn't shoot Marvin.
You shot Marvin.
Well,
later.
they
yes.
killed him in the car in accident.
Yeah, they took him with him. I didn't get that.
He
either.
knew Marvin from before, and then nobody ever said any backstory on why.
Ah. They must have done a deal together.
But they killed. He shot Flock of Seagulls once, and he called him Flock of Seagulls, and he gets Brett all rattled, and then he's like, "What? Say what again?
What?
Doesn't sound like any country I know." And then he goes over there, and Vincent Vega's PO'd because he tells Marvin, he's like, "Did you forget to tell us there was a guy with a hand cannon in the bathroom?" And then they argue over divine intervention.
Oh,
on
that
the,
freak occurrence I saw. That wasn't a miracle.
yeah,
I witnessed a miracle, Vincent.
that's a great scene. It's a great movie.
Yes, it is.
All right. I want to give a tip of the cap to Jose Ramirez, homering in his first 3 at bats from both sides of the plate.
Yowza.
leading the Guardians to a 10-3 victory over the Red Sox. I'm glad passing on today would make him very sad. That's amazing, isn't it?
That is amazing.
First 3 at bats. I mean, this guy's almost good enough to play for TCU. It's incredible.
Too soon.
Yeah, I guess so. Were you watching any of the baseball this weekend?
I watch all the baseball. I've been watching all the baseball, the softball. I'm into this.
I love it.
My teams are usually out anyway.
Have you ever been to the World Series?
No.
You should go.
I hear Omaha's a great experience.
It's a great deal. I was telling the guys yesterday. The cool thing is, if you can afford it, because the hotels are insane, because they also schedule a youth baseball tournament at the same time, which is idiotic, but whatever. But if you can find a cheap Airbnb or something that's reasonable, and you can stay downtown or downtown area where it's all walkable. Restaurants, the bars, the ballpark, it's all walkable. It's phenomenal. It's just a great fan experience outside of having to pay through the nose for your hotel. But the games are not expensive to go to. The restaurants are reasonably priced. You got incredible beef in Omaha, obviously. By the way, Omaha Steaks, the biggest farce ever pulled on the American public. But those Omaha steak restaurants in actual Omaha are phenomenal.
Yes.
You can get 10 times better beef at Sam's, Costco, Edwards Food Giant, or just about any other place in town.
A lot of the cows end up in Nebraska, so they have them.
But the Omaha Steaks thing is an absolute joke. I cannot believe people still subscribe to that stuff.
Well, that's better than Trump steaks, probably.
My sister got me, she doesn't listen, luckily. My sister got me a gift card for Christmas. We don't even buy for each other. She was just being nice, and I appreciate her. She's wonderful. But I was like,
It's like 6 hamburgers and 5 steaks and hot dogs.
yeah, it's like
and,
$140. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, the gift card's for $100. Like, okay,
I
thanks.
still remember that steak I had at your house like 20 years ago. It was like 3 inches thick. It
We'll
was
do it again.
it was incredible.
You know what? I didn't buy it off Omaha Steaks either. Got it
you got it
locally.
at Sam's.
I'm gonna go to Edwards Food Giant today and get some ribeyes.
They got great steaks.
They're the
there.
meat people.
They really are.
Forget
Steak
about it.
sounds good.
It does sound good.
We're getting some for the weekend.
Okay, let's go.
Done.
I'll be over. All right. Looks like I don't have to buy steak anymore. Pigskin, I'm going to Wes's house. Tom Murphy coming up after the break. We'll get you updated on what's going on at the French Open. Pigskin's locked in. We're into set 4.
Amazing.
And the Joker is up 2-1. So
Oh, by the way, Tiger Bait just told me, he said, quit talking about it on the air. I'm taping it. I said, quit listening to us.
quit talking about Tiger Bait, actually, or you're going to get banned.
That's what I said.
The Red White Report is brought to you by Big O Tires, with locations in Conway on Harkrider and in Cabot on Prospect Court. Big O Tires offers an endless selection of wheel and tire combinations. Big O Tires, they have everything you need to fit your budget and style.
Talk to me, Wes. What's going on at track and field?
Well, good news and bad news for the women. Let me start with the good news or the bad news?
Bad news.
Bad news. They're not going to win the national championship. I'll go ahead and predict that. They needed to have a lot of good things happen, and they had something really bad happen yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no one, for the first time since 2013, scored any points in the pole vault for the Arkansas women.
Whoa.
Nothing.
That is earth-shattering.
Yeah, they had one who was considered to be the favorite. They thought they'd get 10 points there. They had a couple others that they thought they could get some points from, and they got zero.
Don't they usually
Nothing.
have someone from Cabot, Arkansas doing well in the pole vault?
I guess they've all grown up. Mackenzie Hayward finished 13th. That was the best for Arkansas. Caitlin Banyas tied for 16th, and Amanda Fossold, who was considered the favorite, didn't clear anything. No height.
It's pathetic. What a joke.
That's disappointing for Arkansas. But the good news, Britton Wilson,
Yes.
she
400?
maybe should get her on. Try to get her on.
400 and 400 hurdles.
I was watching
Yes.
the 400.
The 400 was incredible.
It was.
She ran under 50 seconds, 49 points.
It's that girl from Florida.
And she won easily.
And the girl from Michigan was set a PR. So, yeah, she was doing well.
And she qualified for the finals, had the best time in the semifinals, then turned around 30 minutes later in the 400-meter hurdles.
That's insane.
And won it, too, going away. Fastest time in the 400-meter hurdles.
That's Edwin Moses territory.
So they get 20 points from her, but unfortunately that won't be enough to catch and beat Texas.
When's the high jump?
The high jumps today for the men.
Yes.
Yeah, for Little Rock's own.
And?
JJ. And
UAPB.
UAPB, that's
Yeah.
right, who had the best height in the
Western.
West, in
Yep.
Sacramento,
Yep.
the West prelims.
When you were in elementary school and they were doing track, wasn't doing the high jump just massive fun? I thought the pit was great, like falling into the pit. I'm like, where's this been my whole life?
It's a blast.
This is great.
Yes.
Yeah, I just cleared 3'6". Wow.
Yeah. I told the story a while back. I actually high jumped in high school.
No way.
I wasn't good. There was a kid that I high jumped with that was really, really good. And if he had any grades at all, could have been a track athlete in college. But he was an idiot. But he was, he just wasn't a very good student, but he was a really good athlete. Could fly and could just jump through. I mean, I only cleared maybe 6'10" or something. He could fly. But anyway.
Wait, you cleared 6'10"?
No, the kid did.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pay attention. Anyway, so I was telling them I hadn't jumped in like, 4 or 5 meets. And I was always like trying to get a couple points here and there. And so I go out and I'm warming up and he's like, you're going to high jump today. I was like, all right. So I go over there and I hadn't high jumped in like, I don't know. It'd been a long time. So at my first warm up, I go by for a pass and I jump too late and I barely kissed the side of the mat and ended up on the ground.
Oh, ow.
It did not feel good,
Son.
but I ended up getting some points. I think I got 6th or something. I
Look
don't
at
know.
you.
Yeah. Yay me. I was like 4 feet,
you know,
5
it's-
inches.
to me, it almost defies physics. How does a person jump over their head?
I don't
That's
know.
just amazing.
It's unbelievable. Thank
Yeah.
God for Dick Fosbury.
No kidding.
He died recently, didn't he?
He did.
He just had his birthday and then he died like back to back.
Yeah, Basil and them made a big
Bad
deal
birthday
about it in the
present.
morning.
What's that?
Bad birthday present.
Really was. That's not what I asked for this year. Death. What a bummer. Anything else going on? I guess we'll get an update from Tom on the rest of it right now. Tom Murphy, the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, joining us. And I wish we were all in Fayetteville together hanging out watching baseball, Tom. But you know what? We're happy to have you on the Brandon Moving and Storage Hotline anyway. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. It's good to be with you. And yeah, the baseball team, I think, squeezed out a whole lot of what they could out of their team with the long injury run. And, the one thing I do wish they had done is hang on to that Friday game at Vanderbilt and been the sole, the lone winner, solo champion in the SEC, not sharing it. But, otherwise, they just kind of did not have enough arms to go 4 or 5 games deep in this regional, and losing the winners bracket game against TCU on the day game on Sunday, I believe, was the one. Hagen Smith only lasted that one inning. Kind of, the writing was on the wall at that point. So,
Right.
But they're going to be a powerful team next year too, and maybe things will fall in line better for them.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We have not delved too much into roster, for next year. And obviously they've got the number 1 class coming in, depending on how many of those guys decide not to go pro. but you do have a great 1-2 punch with Tigert and Hagen Smith as your pitchers and a whole bunch of guys out of the bullpen, assuming, we were talking about Dylan Carter yesterday, and he's obviously up in the air to maybe come back next year after the surgery. But, guys like Gage Wood, if he can get back on track, and you got some really good pieces. And then, in the lineup, you got Peyton, and I'm not sure how he'll handle those guys. And then you've got Diggs back. So, yeah, obviously got to rebuild the outfield.
Yeah, and there's some guys who have eligibility remaining, and I want to say like Bolton, who might not be drafted, and maybe Parker Rowland. I'm not sure, but there's some guys who are seniors who might have eligibility who you might get back. But there's a decent nucleus with Stovall, Diggs, and Holt. You hope you keep.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter Holland even said on a radio appearance the other day, "Don't be surprised if I come back," but I think he can get drafted and be in position to go. So you do have a decent start to your rotation with Smith and Tiger, and McIntyre can come back. Zach Morris can come back.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a lot of maneuvering between who gets drafted from the big time signing class, who chooses to come, how much do you delve into the transfer portal and JUCO, and so the roster management. They seem to be really all over it, and so I don't doubt that they'll put the pieces together to be a quality team.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that radio appearance by Hunter Holland was out of bounds on 103.7 The Buzz, Tom, and he was darn good the other day because John Neighbors was pretty happy that he said it when he did. We had Jace Borfin on earlier in the week, and he's another guy that could potentially come back. We all know he should be drafted in a position where he should be happy to go professional. But it was interesting in talking to him, Tom, and you got the sense of that all through the year. There's a real almost romanticism with this experience at Arkansas as a baseball player. And this year especially, there was something, the way Dave Van Horn talked about it. This was not your typical team, and he's had a lot of good ones over the years, but there was a special closeness, which is hard to believe with all the new pieces they brought in. But Jace even said that he hadn't thoroughly made a decision yet either. I guess a lot of it will depend on where he ends up getting drafted. But it's interesting, guys that may have an option to go that I think seriously are struggling with the decision.
I agree with what you said. Like the sentimentality of understanding that these are like golden years, because if you're in the minor leagues, you're doing the whole bus thing and living in a townhouse or an apartment somewhere and just trying to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's different than the crowds that you have here, the treatment that you get on campus, the help with your classes. There's
the private jet travel,
kind of a red carpet. Yeah, absolutely. They flew to one place, and I think it was the Georgia game. They drove to one place, the Mississippi State series, I believe. And otherwise, they're flying, man. And so there's a certain treatment that I think they understand how good they have it and what the fan base thinks of them and all that. And so, yeah, it's a sentimental piece that you cherish and you don't want to easily give up. But I do believe Borfin's going to be in position that he's going to go. I mean, his caliber, his talent, what he hit this year, it all adds up to being drafted and going.
Yeah.
So, but I got what you're saying, and when you hear them saying this, you're like, wow, okay, he really does mean this. How much he loved his teammates, how much they bonded. I know they did a lot of team bonding and building stuff last fall, and it pays off. And there's a certain picking up for your teammates, and you got the sense that with this team. Oh, one other guy we didn't mention was Ben McLaughlin. He's got eligibility, and he's a huge bat. So there's a lot of pieces that they're going to be able to put together for this team.
On that same note, I read a great story. I think it was Andrew Hutchison wrote it and did the numbers. Back in the day, these top 100 high school kids were signing and going to play professional baseball. In the last couple of years, it's been around 47% are staying. So that's kind of changed the value of playing college baseball and some of the things you're talking about, not having to go through. And let's admit too, the Major League Baseball cut out a lot of their farm system. And so they don't have as many of those teams. But these high school kids are choosing to go to college, maybe get, 2 or 3 years of education. But, they're progressing in an environment like Arkansas where you're playing in front of great crowds, where you're treating NIL money and you're traveling really well. And you don't have to do that in the lower levels of minor league baseball. So it gives you hope that this number one signing class, well, yes, some are going to sign, no doubt, but some are going to come, and that's going to be big for next year.
It really will. And, yeah, I think the NIL component is one thing that you and I, maybe we can't compute it like the families do. So you're a family of a freshman signee who might be in the top 250, who could be a 10th round draft pick. And I think they communicate well, but with their reps and the major league on it's going to take this much for my kid to go. And otherwise there's a value to, you can make NIL money on the campus. You're going to get top-notch medical treatment. You're going to get all the things that we just talked about. And you're training yourself. You're getting good development here that would be different in the major leagues. And you're a little bit more, you're in an organization, but you're kind of on your own in some other aspects of it. So you're right. Dave used the word, when I asked him about next year's roster components, he used the word, I want to say ravaged. We're going to get ravaged by the draft, and we know that. So, I guess some of their top 50 or top 100 signees, they feel like are going to go. But I do believe they're going to keep some. There's Hagen Smith out there that they can bring in, and how these guys perform. I mean, Smith and Tiger were both really outstanding freshmen. If they get that kind of contributions from some of the class and they plug in some bats, then they have a chance to be right where they were this year. And honestly, a lot of the teams like LSU and Vanderbilt, I think they had like more, I guess, higher rated type rosters this year, and they were picked to finish higher. But Arkansas had a certain something about them, despite the injuries, that they outfinished both of those two clubs.
Talking to Tom Murphy on the Brandon Moving and Storage Hotline. We've been asking our fans this week, our listeners this week. Should I call them fans? Maybe they're not fans. They just listen because they have nothing else to do. Anyway, people who listen to the show, will they watch baseball this week? How close will we be locked in on the World Series or the Supers this week?
I will have them on. I've got a lot of things going on personally that's keeping me really busy. But I enjoy watching college baseball and playoff baseball. And so, yeah, I will be plugged in, just like I listen to my Braves every night, and last night was fantastic.
I love it. That's great. Let's move over to basketball. Grant Nelson, the big news, and there's a few schools, I guess maybe it's down to 2 now, that are still potentially vying for his services, including Arkansas. And I know he was on campus this week. Did you hear anything about how that went?
Just that I believe it was an enjoyable visit, a good decision for that kid. He'll wind up with a lot of attention on him this year. I don't know if what negative recruiting might have taken place, but I guarantee you some fans negative recruited if you saw some of the stuff going on about if you go to Alabama. And so, I mean, that's a real thing that he has to consider what's happening in that program. But man, if he was on this Arkansas team, there would be so many elements that, you'd have outside shooting. You'd have, swingmen types. Like when I see his highlights, I see a lot of Trevin Brazil, can get all the way to the basket, dunk, and can shoot. And so they would have a massive talent. And I'm sure Alabama has a great class coming into and would be in the same boat. But it's going to be fun watching him in the SEC next year.
Man, I hope it works out. That would be a great final piece for that class or that group. So it'd be fun to watch those two together. Twin Towers, man.
Almost kind of like how football got that wide receiver from North Carolina, 85th guy, qualified late. That's a great way to top off the class. That'd be 2 for 2. Tommy, you following the track and field at all?
Well, I did. I've read some of Bob's stuff. I think the men got off to a good start. I'm not sure how the women did last night, but the men have the components to win this thing if they score well. And I'm not sure if all the scoring they've done has been along, what they expected so far yet. But they're going to need that. With the softball and the baseball not going to the College World Series and the women's golf not making to the NCAAs, they need that for the Directors' Cup. And, I think they had their all-time highest finish 7th last year, so that might be hard to attain.
Mm-hmm.
They were 8th the year before that, but they could wind up with a top 10, top 15, and that's a big deal when you don't have water polo and wrestling and some of the other things that you can score in because there's not as many teams.
Wes reported earlier that the pole vault team got the shaft, pun intended. So unfortunately, it wasn't a very good outing, and that's going to prevent them more than likely from having a chance to win a title. So you count on those points, Tom, on the women's. Yes,
The women's side?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, that's a shame because it would have been great to win in Lance Harder's final deal. But I heard y'all talking about track and field when I came on, and I dabbled when I was in like freshman. I tried pole vaulting. I ended up being on the relay team and running the 330 intermediate hurdles and like contributing a lot. But man, I tried everything. I tried high jumping and pole vault. But my body was not built for pole vaulting. That's a different thing altogether.
well, my guts are not built for pole vaulting, and I don't want to be that high in the air, if you know what I mean, unless I'm on an airplane. So, although I probably wouldn't have been very high because I wouldn't have been very good at it. But yeah, that takes some real guts to go through that one. That's an interesting one. All right, well, Tom, we'll let you go. I appreciate it. Get back to it, and we will talk to you next week.
Sounds good, man. Talk to y'all next week.
All right, buddy. Thank
Later.
you. Got an update from RD, who was apparently listening, says that Nelson's still on campus. So he's going to be out of there this afternoon. So I hope the visit went well, and that would really be a very intriguing piece of the puzzle for Arkansas next year. And I didn't even think about him and Brazil playing off each other. My goodness, that would be fun.
Did Brazil tear his ACL avoiding a charge, taking a charge? Remember, we were talking about the block charge.
Yep.
Remember, it was that kind of awkward drive for Trevin Brazil when he tore the ACL.
Don't recall. Have to look it up. I got some numbers here from the World Series and the Super Regionals that are coming up. For those of you who care, and for those of you who don't, I apologize in advance. 299 home runs in the regional round, the third most ever. And we all know that Arkansas's regional had the most home runs, which is crazy. I did not anticipate that at all.
2 years in a row, Arkansas's played in a regional with the most home runs.
Only 2 of last year's World Series teams are back this year. Do you know who they are? Or at least still alive?
Still alive. Have to think about it for a second.
Arkansas beat one of them, I think, in the first game last year. If I remember correctly. Stanford, Texas.
Stanford.
Yep. SEC's 6 teams in the Supers matches the most by any conference in NCAA history. It is the 6th time the SEC has had 6 of the final 16. With a pair of SEC Super Regional matchups, the best they can do is 4 in Omaha, which would match the most by a conference in a single year. We are not anticipating that Alabama is going to get by Wake Forest, but nevertheless. It's been done 6 times previously, 5 by the SEC, once by the ACC. Here's some interesting stats. I didn't think this was, I thought it was a little surprising to me. What do you think the home teams, which again are usually national seeds, what do you think the home teams' percentage is in Super Regionals?
Oh. 60%.
50.
It's 69. Why did you think it's so low? They're
It's baseball.
I understand that, but they're home and they're the higher seed. I would think it would be more like 75.
Oklahoma State got their brains beat in by Dallas.
No, I'm talking about the
Baptist.
Super Regionals.
Oh, the Super Regional.
Yeah, in the Super Regionals.
Okay.
The road teams are winning, a third of the time, basically. I think that's, I don't know.
Baseball is easier to win on the road than any other sport.
True that. And it's also the most unpredictable, which we've talked about at length.
Yes.
And you think about home field advantage, how many true home field advantages are out there?
Arkansas.
I mean,
About it.
Basically the SEC
LSU.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mississippi State, I'm sure when they're good.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think game 1 winners? I mean, that kind of surprised me too. What do you think game 1 winners? What's their percentage of winning the series?
75%.
I would go up, like 70, 30, 74,
You guys are on point, 79. So pretty big advantage there.
Win
Obviously,
that first game.
it is pretty
It's
important.
huge. You don't want to go in the losers bracket. You know.
Well, you're talking supers, right?
But then you want
Right.
to win 2 in
Yeah.
a row.
Yeah, you don't.
Either way,
And then the other team starts pressing.
Yeah.
That second game, pressure's on them.
it is.
Yeah, sometimes.
Win or go home.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Alcaraz is just about to be put out of his misery.
Yes.
Sorry, Tiger Bait. Justin said he's not sorry.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if we ruin it for you, and I don't care if you listen to the show or not. It's 11:27. Lance is supposed to be in from the Travs. I assume he is, since Christian's talking to somebody, and the intern has already taken off for the day. So we will talk to him on the other side. Stay tuned. You are in the zone. It is a lovely day, and Djokovic is on through to Sunday's final in the French Open. Pigskin, I want you to know that if it conflicts with church, I'll be at church.
Look at you.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
religious you
I-
are in your old age.
I've been on the road a lot on Sundays lately, so I'm happy to be here this
We'll
week.
be glad to have you.
Hello, everyone. It is 11:32 on a fantastic Friday in the zone. We are back in the Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort studio. Wes Moore, the Wizard, Justin Acree, the Wizard's Christian Weaver. The Pigskin Preacher's here. And because the Travs are on a hot streak, we told Lance he could come up.
Aw.
If you guys were sucking, we were going to let you come in.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm so glad that my job does not depend on whether the Travs win or lose.
There you go.
That would be.
Mine doesn't either, thank God. Wes, can you get him plugged in over there?
We're good.
Grab a
Shit.
headset, any
I'm-
headset.
I'm money.
There you
I'm
go.
money.
Sorry about that.
Very good.
Kind of a clown show over here.
I like all the cameras in here, though.
Isn't that nice?
I'm glad I
Don't pick your boogers, or at least don't eat them.
I was going to not wear a shirt, but
Well, that's
Would've been
unfortunate.
awkward.
You're
Would've been
Bert,
awkward.
Bert Kreischer. That's good. You can pull that off.
awkward.
A handsome man like you,
Well, thanks for having me in,
buddy.
I
Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
coming up. Appreciate you. It's fun when things are going well, huh?
Yeah,
It's nice
well,
winning.
Well, when the team's winning and people show up, everyone's in a good mood. That's kind of how it works. But it also helps foster all of our other programs, promotions, and then of course our kids clinics. So that's actually why I'm here.
Oh,
Remember? Kids clinic.
I do remember.
Oh yeah.
This Saturday, there's something special
Tomorrow,
going on. That's
right,
like tomorrow. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, tomorrow. In fact, there are still some slots open at registration, but it's 4 to 14. It's a free clinic for kids. They come out, they learn skills and drills. It's on the field. We do it at Dickie Stevens on the field. Learn to hit, throw, run bases, and then we're going to give everyone lunch afterwards. Plus, you get some free gift from Franklin and Academy and some other cool stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. This will be our 5th clinic we've done this season, and I've got 3 more coming up.
Oh my.
In fact, one of them I got playing with the Memphis Grizzlies. That's going to be a lot of fun.
The Grizzlies are going to play baseball.
They're going to play basketball. That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's that sport. But it's going to be a basketball baseball combo. Right?
Oh, you guys did
So
this last year, didn't you?
Yes, except this year it's even better. And
Yeah.
they're sending some Grizz players down. We're going to
Oh,
have
really?
our Travs players. That one's on September 9th. And basically it's at Southwest Community Center. It's like an hour basketball. Then you come outside, an hour of baseball, and
That's great.
live the dream, man.
They should have John Morant come. It could be part of his community service.
Does that count if it's not in Arkansas? Does he have to serve it in?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
serve it anywhere.
I think we need to get a lot of video of it. We need to send it to Adam Silver to try to get him off the hook for that his dumb activities.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
I
We'll have
love
cameras
Job.
there.
Well, that's
But-
great.
But no, it's going great. Actually, the Youth Foundation, in fact, we were just talking about that, is really blown up since we launched it last year because the need is so big. I mean, if you look at the way that professional sports is different and professional baseball specifically, it's not like it was 20, 30 years ago, right? The demographics are different and the players are different. In fact, we threw out that stat last year, the World Series where the Astros won, go Stros, first time since 1951, neither team had an American-born African-American player on it. Now, why is that?
Because they don't play baseball anymore.
Yep. And why is that? And I think there are many contributing factors, but I think the number one, the most apparent is that youth sports is super expensive. It's super expensive. I mean, anyone, and I would list all your listeners out there, raise your hand. We can see you through your smartphone. Raise your hand if you pay to have your kid play sports. And if it's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I see lots of hands out there.
Yeah.
Lots of hands.
Well, you can see him through the camera.
100%.
Yep.
100%. But no, truthfully, I mean, just to play on these travel ball teams and the showcase
insane.
teams, I mean, you're $750 a team. Plate fees, bats are $500 now.
That's nuts.
You got training sessions, and it's year round, right? Did you know the average Tommy John surgery in 1992, right, was 47 years old? You know what it is in 2002?
15.
22.
It's 27. That was close. That's the average.
Mm.
That means there's enough kids under the age of 27 getting Tommy John surgery to bring the average down to 27.
Because
Think
when
about
they're
that from-
12, they're playing 85 games every summer,
And
which
they're-
is ridiculous.
And they're wanting these high school kids to throw 85, 90 miles an hour. I literally almost got in a fight the other day because I heard a coach literally say, well, just let him throw it out and have the surgery. I'm like, this dude's 16 years old.
That's massive.
You're going to destroy his life. Is throw it out so you have the surgery?
My coach wanted
I
me to
will
throw
fight you
85.
now.
My coach wanted me to throw 85 too, but I could never get over like 72. So
Well, some of it's skill.
yeah,
So-
there's that.
I've read reports that now it is a positive when they're looking at drafting a player if he's already had Tommy John, because they know that they're not going to have to lose him for a year and a half.
Right.
Because most of the time, once you have it, you're fine.
Right.
They build it back and it's better than ever. And so now they don't have to worry about him having Tommy John surgery while he's on their payroll and they lose him for a year and a half.
How horrible is that?
It's terrible.
How horrible is
Did
that?
I
what you
get
just
Tommy
said?
John surgery on my back?
No, I don't think it works like that.
This is
Oh,
lost.
It would become Chuck Monan surgery. You can get one named after you.
You're like Steve Austin. We can build him faster.
The
and
Bionic
stronger.
Man.
Actually, no one knows who that is anymore.
Is that the $6 million man?
I know
Yeah.
who it was.
Thanks.
know
Well,
Stone
you're
Cold.
old, but no,
You know
No,
Stone
not
Cold Steve
Stone
Austin?
Cold Christian.
a different guy.
His body's
No,
probably
I
worth
know
$6
that.
million too.
I've seen the show.
My buddy just texted me. Speaking of youth sports, he said I spent over 20 grand this year for club volleyball and competitive dance. It is insane.
20,000?
That's
Good grief.
well, when you think about
That's
clinics,
nuts.
you're doing clinics,
Well,
and in the off season, you want your kid to stay competitive, so you're sending them to those camps, and those camps are $125 a week.
Oh,
Okay, I
this-
told this story in the sermon last Sunday. When I was in 5th grade, I was invited to be on the best baseball team in Flint, Michigan. Now, I would have been the worst player on the best team, but still, it was the best team. I stayed on it for a month. When my dad found out they were playing tournaments every weekend out of town, he took me off the team and put me on another team.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if
Yeah.
these folks want their lives and their families completely taken over by this, be my guest, but you're going to spend yourself into oblivion, and it's going to make your family life, any normalcy, just cease to exist.
Well, it eats up your vacation
That's
because
it.
now you're traveling and
Yeah, but
spending
we're
money
going to
do
cool
that.
places like Tampa and stuff like
yeah,
that.
and Tulsa's awesome, bro.
I like
Let's go-
Tulsa.
let's
You're
go
going to Searcy.
Springfield.
That's
Yeah,
where you're
but you
going.
know what?
Nah,
You're spending.
that's not
You got
travel.
a game at 9:30, and then you got another game at 1:30. So what are you going to do between that except go eat and sleep?
I'm gonna have
and
a
then
couple
if-
beers. I'm not playing.
Well, that's true. That's true. But you know, mom's out. She's going to hit up the outlet malls, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's cost you $1,000s, dude.
Yeah.
It is.
If you're trying to make a point that your clinic's really inexpensive, by
It's
God, you're
free,
really
then
hammering the
I-
point.
Hammering it.
and
I
sold
believe
right
this.
now, absolutely free.
I'm going to
Look,
send my kid. He doesn't even play baseball.
just
I'm
for-
going to go and I quit playing. I'm
Well,
old.
we
so-
will have Nathan's hot dogs afterwards.
Ah,
so
now we're
that's,
talking.
that's
Happy
the hook right
Nathan's.
there.
It's a good
Well,
dog.
the biggest problem I see is
No ketchup.
really at the high school, college level, because when we get to the point where college coaches are now recruiting from tournaments and travel ball and not recruiting from high school,
Yeah.
then the system's destroyed. And I've talked to several coaches locally, and it makes sense. Like if you have limited resources, if you're a small school, Philander Smith, ABU, Arkansas Tech, SAU Tech, right? Like if you're a small school, you don't have a lot of resources. It makes sense to go to one tournament where you can see 60 kids
Mhm.
as opposed to going to one high school where you can see one kid.
Right.
Right. And with videos now, you know, everything's video. You got all these videos. Like it's breaking the system. And if it were up to me, I would eliminate travel ball and tournament ball completely and just go back to high school ball.
Mhm.
But that's, you know,
Yeah, I think
not going to happen.
Not
Yeah,
gonna
the
happen.
thinking
Not gonna
is
happen.
they want to get, and I've been told this from people who are in that realm that you know, you just can't get the level of competition you get by traveling around. So
it's true.
I mean, I don't know. Again, it's a skill, right? And I mean,
Well,
I understand facing pitchers, but like defensively, you can get as good as you can get, I think.
Mhm.
But you're facing better hitters as a pitcher, and you're facing better pitchers as a hitter. I understand that part of it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Well, and you can't blame the parents, right? Because if I had a kid that was 12, 13 years old and I wanted to be looked at by colleges and I wanted to get a scholarship to go to Fayetteville, well, of course I'm going to put in the time and the effort to make that happen. I'm going to send them to the camps and I'm going to spend money, and we're like,
it's a pretty big gamble to get a return
Yes.
on your investment.
Yes.
But it is for golfers. I mean,
Well,
there's-
volleyball, apparently, like,
Yeah.
I mean, everything, every sport. Like, if you're a parent and you care about your kid, you want them to have the best opportunity.
I care about my kid, but I care about my bank account too. And I need
Right.
you to, if you're going to get a college scholarship, if you're that kind of athlete,
Mhm.
sure, cool. But if you're not, mine
Mhm.
isn't. We're just going to pay for private school, and that'll be fine.
We'll
Good luck
just have
over there.
fun.
Right.
We'll just have fun.
But when you're talking about city kids, you just got to face it. They're 100 times more interested in basketball than they are in baseball or football or anything.
Oh, yeah.
So if you solve the issue of
Right.
money, if you ban travel teams, I still don't think there's going to be a bunch of kids in the city playing baseball. I don't think they're interested.
Well, I think you're always going to have an inclination to basketball because of the low entry cost. I mean, you need
Yeah.
a ball, a hoop, and some shoes, right? Like you're always going to have that. And because of the demographics of that, when you see someone that looks like you and acts like you and talks like you being successful, you want to emulate that. And that's one of
yeah,
the problems in
LeBron,
baseball.
there you go.
Right. Well, who do we have in Major League Baseball right now? Right. Like, where's our Ken Griffey Juniors or our Bo Jacksons or
Don't have 'em.
You don't have them. And so
They're all
that's-
from the Dominican Republic.
Right, right. These guys don't even speak English. and
Or
they're not
Shohei
US citizens.
Ohtani.
Right.
So,
yeah. So I mean, that's
He
the
looks like
point.
me. He plays like me.
I play exactly like him. Our games are very similar.
I struck myself out one time. I'm just like Shohei.
Yeah, right. It's like the greatest pitcher that's ever been, right?
He is the greatest story in a long time in
Oh,
baseball.
man.
Well, you know that Kenny
Nuts.
Loggins song, I am the greatest. that has ever been.
Don't know that one.
Mm-mm.
Keep singing it. Sing a
Come,
few
come
more
to the
verses.
Travs game. You'll hear it.
Sing
You'll
some
hear
more.
it. You're gonna hear.
I don't think that's a
I know-
real song. I think you just made that up.
I know Kenny Lofton. I don't really know Kenny Loggins so much.
Yeah, we'll work. I'll tell you about it later. The heat is on.
Sounds good.
But
I know
anyway,
that one.
lo-
That's
long
Glenn
story-
Fry.
Yeah. Long story short, the problem really exists that these kids don't have models. They don't have role models. They don't have a reason. And because of that, we've created this system where it's expensive to play. There's no incentives, and it's already broken. I mean, I
Well,
talked to the guys.
Michael Jordan rode the bus and played baseball, and nobody still wanted to play baseball. And they like Jordan, so I don't know.
Well, he
Well,
wasn't good. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
that was
Well, that's
that
true.
Was, that
If
was,
he thrived, they probably would have been down, but he didn't.
Probably not.
well, I think
It was probably Isaiah Thomas's fault that he was terrible at baseball. Maybe they can do a documentary
Hey,
on that.
Listen, this brother is a Hall of Fame grudge holder over here.
right,
better
I
believe
can
it.
tell.
Some-
He's like, there's
uh,
no bitterness
No,
whatsoever.
that's
man.
that's
You
the
know, he beat
Pistons.
his head in for 3 years. They didn't want to talk about that.
Well, at the end of the day, my goal and the goal of the Youth Foundation is to fix this problem we're talking about.
Hey,
Let's talk
good,
about
good luck.
that's
I hope
like-
you do, man.
Well, the way we do it is we give out scholarships. I give out sponsorships. I pay for kids and inner city kids to go to these training camps. Last December, I had 10 kids that were 12 and under. This January and February, I had 5 kids trying to get on the Sylvan Hills baseball team. I paid for their clinics. I paid for their camps. We find some of these indoor facilities that are already existing, like,
Mhm.
Rocktown Sports, Beyond Sports Lab, or some of these. And then I just pay for the kids to go to,
Very
to
nice.
those clinics.
That's a good thought.
We also do equipment grants. We've bought this year alone, I spent $6,100 on a pitching machine for Philander Smith. I've done a bunch of stuff for grants. We've given out tons of money and scholarships. And this year we've given about $6,500 so far. And then we're launching scholarship program in the fall for baseball scholarships. I mean, you guys know the Razorbacks. I mean,
Yeah, I've heard of them.
how many, you might have heard of them. How many of their guys are actually scholarships?
Well, they're the scholarship
They
situation.
don't have any
in college-
scholarships to give out. I have a third
I
of
mean,
a scholarship,
I-
half of a scholarship.
It's crazy to me. And that's how baseball is, right? Like
But-
you just
but
don't
they're
have
getting
enough
NIL
scholarships
money.
to go
Yeah.
wrong.
No,
Well,
no doubt.
Well, but think about it. Okay, Will
Title IX.
McIntyre. You
Yep.
guys know Will,
Mhm.
right?
Sure.
Love Will. Awesome kid. He was a walk-on,
Mhm.
right? He walked on. He didn't have a scholarship until last year. Dude's been on the cover of the Democrat Gazette like 3 times now and just got a scholarship. And that's the Razorbacks. So when you take schools like Philander or SAU Tech or AB, they don't have any money. So that's where we can come in as a youth foundation. I can give, a couple $100, $500, $1,000, $2,000, and it allows these coaches to then go out and recruit better talent and more minority talent, right?
Mhm.
Especially with some of these inner city colleges, that's what they're looking for. And if I can create an opportunity for these kids to play at a collegiate level, even if it's the new conference, there's a new Southern Gulf, I forgot what it's called, conference, but they're in it, and they did the
Mhm.
Hank Aaron World Series and all that. I mean, these are new programs. We got to foster these.
You do
programs.
realize your timing is somewhat auspicious in that the Razorbacks just got knocked out by a young black second baseman who hit 3 home runs against them, including 2 grand slams.
Well-
So Arkansas fans might be a little bit sensitive to this charge right now.
The thing I like about it is, and there aren't a lot of guys like that. Obviously, it pays to look like Aaron Judge, but it does tell you that it can be done. This kid was like 5'10", 165.
No doubt.
So
Right.
I remember Dougie DeCenzo. I mean, there have been little guys who can
Mhm.
thrive in baseball, and it's real hard to be 5'10", 165 and thrive in basketball or football.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bingo.
Well, I mean, we had. I remember Darwin Perez. He played for us for years, and then for the Angels at professional level for many years. That dude was midget. I mean, he was tiny, and he would
I
fly.
think that's.
But
plenty
we
good,
got
right?
Isaiah Campbell right now. Isaiah
He's a
Campbell.
large man.
He's pitching for the Travs. In fact, you can buy his jersey right now.
He still
The
has those
Seattle
glasses.
jerseys.
I love those
Oh, yeah.
glasses when he played for the Hogs. That was
In fact,
awesome.
we're doing an Isaiah Campbell bobblehead later.
He could
this
be
year.
like the
Yeah.
wild thing.
Mhm.
He's like a bigger wild thing.
Can we get him
He's
in studio
awesome.
on his bobblehead week?
do
We'll
it?
see what I can do. Maybe his dad Perry's always at the ballpark.
I'd love to
Yeah.
get him over here.
All right, I'll see what we can do.
Maybe on
Um,
No
Monday,
guy.
off day.
Well,
We're gonna-
actually they'll be traveling on Monday.
We're gonna have to move on. By the way, I got a bunch of notes here that it was Kenny Rogers, not Kenny Loggins.
Oh, Rogers. Yeah, that's what.
and
I
then
meant.
they said, "You stupid idiot." But
that checks out.
no, I'm kidding.
That checks out.
That's it. But Chuck Gatlin of our staff and our Ethan, our longtime listener, both wanted to let us know. I don't have that song.
Thank
in
you,
the system,
Chuck.
So I
Thank
just
you,
played
Chuck, for
Reuben
being
James
old like me.
instead.
Thanks, Chuck.
Kenny this, Kenny
Yeah,
that, whatever.
I was close.
Yeah, Kenny.
I am the greatest.
Kenny G.
There is
Kenny G.
Kenny G.
My favorite is
That's what we need.
Kenny Powers, obviously the greatest
Kenny
of all time.
Powers.
I mean,
Yes.
forget about it.
Wake up and piss excellence.
There's no doubt. He is the greatest.
Well, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
You can still register for the clinic tomorrow and catch the Travs next week.
Keep up the good work, my man.
When are you all back home?
Tuesday.
Okay.
think 12th, 13th.
So you guys are on the road through this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
We're playing Corpus next week.
Gotcha.
Be good games.
Gosh, I hate Corpus. Let's get them.
Let's get them.
All right. 11:46. Stick around. Be right back. I don't know what I'm doing. Yammer. Words. Reuben James.
Champs and Chumps is brought to you by Everbowl, providing craft superfoods, acai bowls, and smoothies that fuel for an active, unevolved, healthy lifestyle. Located in the Pleasant Ridge Shopping Center in West Little Rock, next to Santo Coyote.
All right, well, it's a pretty easy day today, I would say. There are a lot of chumps this week. You can go whichever way you want to go. I'm going to give it to Zion, though. And again, I don't care how many ladies he gets around to. But again, if you're going to go public on social media with the woman that you have knocked up, you might want to tell somebody that you're trying to move to New Orleans in advance of posting said information. That's not really thinking things through there, Zion. And let's be honest, in between bites of pizza, you should think clearly, because you're certainly not spending a whole lot of time on the court practicing or working out. Anyway, I hate to be too hard on him, and I'm rooting for him. I love him, and I love the Pelicans, but come on, bruh. All right.
Jay Monahan's my chump of the week. I think that's an easy target.
Yeah.
To make a deal without letting the players know, and to preach all along, this is about the players, but yet they know nothing and find out after the deal is made. Just the way he handled it. Look, I get that they had to sell out to the Live Tour or the Saudi money. I understand that. But I think the communication, and so many times in our world, communication's the key, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, over-communicate. You need to let the people know, your players know, especially the guys who've been standing up for you and taking – now they're the ones taking a beating. It's just I think the way he handled that was
Even if he
horrible.
communicates, though, he's a massive hypocrite. He says these people are evil, and then he's doing business with the people that are evil.
No.
I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah,
We've
what is he, the U.S. government?
We've determined what you are, Jay. Now we're just haggling over the price. How about that?
Philip Martin, you want
you
to slide
heard
around
it, Philip,
Philip.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had Saudi Arabia, hostile takeover of golf.
Yes.
And this is all sport washing. I
Can
mean,
you let him in
yeah.
so we can get on a mic?
Never mind.
He doesn't have anything to say about this.
No, I haven't thought about this at all.
Christian, what do you got back there?
Well, you both stole my chump. I was going to go Zion. You did it. And then I was going to go PGA. He did it.
Jay Monahan was pretty obvious.
So I'm going to skip chump because you both took mine.
You know what? You can give a chump to Kyrie Irving
Why is he getting?
because they're talking. He's trying to pretend like they're going to get LeBron over in Dallas
Yeah,
and
that's not.
taking attention off the NBA Finals. Lame. It's lame.
I got a champ and a chump, and it's the same person or the same entity.
What?
Okay.
The Indiana State Sycamores. They're the champ because they're giving up their facilities and everything to let the Special Olympics in.
Mhm.
And they're a chump because they're foregoing the ability to host a super regional, which they never have really done.
They've never been to a super regional
That's
before.
my point.
Yeah,
so
no, it's crazy.
how can you be both good and bad and at the same time?
That is fair.
But they are.
But I mean, again, you don't like the other day. I was telling the guys I had made plans to go see Ray Wiley Hubbard in Eureka, and I didn't even think about the regionals possibly happening. And so, thankfully, I ended up missing the regionals. I did go to the Friday game, but I
Big
made a
Ray
good decision.
Wiley fan, are you? I didn't
Big
know
Ray
that.
Wiley fan.
Look at you.
And man, was he phenomenal? He sounded amazing
Nice.
for an old dude. He was really, really good.
I like those old dudes.
What do you got for a champ?
Champ, I'm going to give it to Inter Miami
Yeah, no doubt.
for signing Lionel Messi.
Mhm.
Easily the best player to ever play in the MLS. Well, when he does. And arguably the greatest player of all time.
How do you compare him to Pele?
Better.
Your bicycle kick
Yeah.
one in?
Pele was old then.
My champ is Britton Wilson from the University of Arkansas. I told you a little bit about her earlier on, but to win the 400 meters semifinal heat, win the 400 meters hurdle semifinal meet, run the best time in both events. She does have the fastest time in the nation this year, has a chance to double up in something that has never been done.
Just to follow up on Christian's point, Messi has not played a game yet, but he is having an impact already. In the first 24 hours, Inter Miami added more than 4 million followers on Instagram. They went from 1 million to 5 million.
Wow.
I don't know what kind of sales they're going to have, but I'm going to guess this jersey is going to be relatively popular.
They'll sell at least 3 million.
Miami's Twitter also saw an increase from 176,000 to 400,000, and he doesn't even have his contract officially yet.
So this Everbowl thing, how long's it been around?
Not long.
It looks great.
It's phenomenal.
It is great.
I
try
should
to
go
tell you.
over there. Look at that.
You
Philip
should.
could eat this.
If I may, my champ this week is pro golf. We have never talked about golf this much during Canadian Open week as we have this week. So, yes, it's controversial, but they're taking a page out of the NFL. Create controversy when nobody's talking enough about you, and there you go. And then I've also seen people saying that they are not going to allow this this merger to happen. There's going to be some kind of antitrust issue or something. I have no trust of the Saudis or of Jay Monahan, so I have antitrust already. But I don't know. I don't know if it's actually going to happen or not. But there's talk that maybe this thing won't be able to go through.
The Saudis will just buy the Congress, so they'll vote for them.
Well,
What are you kidding?
What I don't understand is the PGA. It's not like the NFL. It's not like it's owned by the players,
Right.
and the players don't have any. It's just Monahan and the board.
Kind of what Wes was
sold
saying.
it?
He
Who
even
sold
tell the
out?
players that are supposed to be running it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I don't. So there may be some legal action.
Monahan ain't gonna have a job in the next year.
He doesn't
bet
need
on
it.
Currently,
that.
he's over not only the PGA Tour but the Live Tour. At least he
Yeah,
will be under the new
exactly.
arrangement.
Isn't it crazy how much power he has?
Yes.
That he was able to do that deal.
He's like, I
without-
may be dumb,
I-
but I'm so smart.
the guy with the bone saw is going to be running things.
Yeah,
Don't kid
exactly. He's gonna
yourself,
be the
man.
front guy.
He's Monahan is his errand boy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I hope he doesn't go missing.
bone saw.
We're up against top of the hour. Wanted to mention too, if you didn't see it, Josh Allen is going to grace the Madden 24 cover. So he joins a long list of talented athletes who have done it over the years. Can you guys name me the first ever John Madden NFL game cover boy?
Madden.
Madden. Very good, Christian. You little loser.
Trick question.
Yeah.
Can you name me the second one? Smarty Pants?
Madden.
Nope.
Who's buried in Grant's
Running
tomb?
back,
Barry Sanders.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
I would have guessed Sanders.
Tennessee Titans.
Oh, Eddie George.
Edward George.
Lost to
And
Michigan.
of course, our favorite year, 2012, when Peyton Hillis graced the cover. What a magical season.
That's cool.
In that Cleveland jersey. Also, special tip of the cap to LeBron James. Love him or hate him, the man is making a ton of money. He became a billionaire athlete recently.
Thought he already was.
Well, recently.
Chinese must have kicked in with all that money.
Yeah, he doesn't mind that. In fact, he gets mad if you talk bad about him, so please don't.
He does. I don't want to make him upset.
You're going to find this hard to believe, but he's making a lot of money off the court. A lot more than he's making on the court. Pretty amazing. Anyway, we're back after this. Philip Martin's here with a review of Flamin' Hot. All right, I don't got time to screw around with you folks, so let's move it along already. Philip Martin's here. He's got movies to talk about. I got entertainment to talk about. We got birthdays to do. We got our Zone Rewind that's sponsored. I mean, we got stuff to get to. Let's go. We only got like 54 minutes left. Philip, it's good to see you, buddy. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great.
Good deal. Let's dive in here, and then we'll get to. I'm actually thinking about just for the inspirational value, taking Maddox to go see this Cheeto movie this weekend.
Well, it's on Hulu.
Oh, it's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu. So
I'm definitely going to watch it at home this weekend with Maddox.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
That's good.
Exactly.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
It's another one of those movies. It's kind of like Air. It's kind of, and there was the other one, Tetris. It's sort of a brand movie.
Yeah.
And you have the story. Only this one is not. According to Frito-Lay, it's not true. Even though Frito-Lay cooperated with it,
Really?
and this guy still works for him. I mean, it's sort of like.
What do you mean it's not true?
Well, it's the story is it's about a janitor at Frito-Lay that created.
I guess we're just going to dive right into the movie. Here we go.
Which, yeah, I know, but
That's okay.
But Frito-Lay says no, that's not what happened. We had engineers and people that worked on this and all this. But the guy is still at Frito-Lay, and he's like one of their brand managers or something now, and he's like, going, "Yeah, I did it. It was me."
Why would you poo-poo that story? That's a good story.
It's a great story, and obviously they're not because they cooperated with the movie and let the movie,
Yeah.
But they're saying it's not true.
I'm sure the founder's not exactly right either, but it was good.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just a weird kind of thing there.
Yeah.
That, in fact, at the bottom of our review is there's like 3 paragraphs about how this isn't really the true story, even though it's a real guy and he claims it's a real story. It's a true story.
Ava Longoria believes it. Well, this is really ruining my whole experience.
Well, I know. It's sort of like it's almost like. The lawyers sorted it out and said, okay, you can say this, but we have to add this disclaimer at the end. I don't know. But aside from that, it's just kind of a cool story. And it's a cool little movie. And, William Bendix couldn't hit home runs either. It's sort of like
He's got
it's
played
the
Babe
movies.
Ruth in the Babe Ruth story.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Sort of played it.
really sad.
Gotcha.
It was really very bad.
He died.
Glenn Ford couldn't putt or swing a golf club, and he played Ben Hogan. So what are you going to do?
And shoeless Joe Jackson was left-handed.
Exactly.
Okay.
You tell me Ray Liotta didn't do a spot-on job?
That's exactly what we're saying.
Okay. Well, you guys are a little too particular in my book.
He did as Henry Hill.
He was great as Henry Hill, and that's a true story also.
Madonna was a good
Today's entertainment report is brought to you by Bell and Sword Gentlemen's Clothing in Conway. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram, or stop by Bell and Sword at 1016 Oak Street in Conway.
Okay. We got animals in the news today, boys, and it's not good. I mean, did you guys see the video of the killer whale, or maybe it wasn't a killer whale, but a whale that swallowed up 2 people that were in a canoe the other day? It is incredible footage. I don't know if it spit them back out or if they're in there with Jonah, but it was pretty scary stuff. And then there was the killer whale that was going after the people, was chasing the people in the
I saw that one.
little boat.
I also saw a shark eat somebody on Twitter today.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. Thanks for.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Okay, we'll start there then. This is in Egypt. Stay away from Egypt if you're trying to get out in the water. Authorities believe they've captured the tiger shark responsible for attacking and killing a Russian man in Egypt. I mean, it's a tiger and a shark. The guy had no chance, right? Videos popped up late Thursday showing the massive animal brought to shore by heavy-duty nets with several boats used in the effort. How do you know it's that one? You gonna check his stomach? This is just like Jaws.
Yeah.
They should have blown
Do
it
you
up.
think Putin put the shark up to this?
Putin?
Putin?
I don't think so.
Shark assassin?
I don't know. Stalin made it look like, Trotsky just accidentally got his head bashed in with a sledgehammer in Mexico. Sometimes the Russians do these things.
Putin is so busy trying to put down the Ukrainians. I don't think he's too worried about dudes swimming in Egypt.
Yeah.
You can't fight a
maybe he thought it was
two-front attack.
Zelensky. I don't know.
You can't fight a two-front war.
Well, where were you to tell Hitler that? Maybe they would have had a chance.
Well, I didn't want to give him any advice. I was trying to help him loose.
Good job.
The ministry noted that the shark stayed in the area following the attack near the surface of the water, though it's unclear how long it took to capture and kill it. Again, I don't know how
the
you.
shark was macking. The shark is strutting around out there. But hey,
He's running his mouth about it. If he'd have been
exactly.
If he'd have shut up, they never would have
Yeah,
gotten
if he'd have just gone back out to sea.
Now, I'm told these Red Sea resorts are quite beautiful.
Oh,
yeah, expensive.
Lush.
Yes. The guy's identified as a 23-year-old Russian, Vladimir Popov. I mean, could you have a more Russian name than
They
that?
named the
Vladimir.
vodka after him.
They did
That
too.
cheap vodka.
Yes, it's blood orange.
Oh, it's
vodka.
Not good.
Helpless onlookers can only watch as Popov was thrown around by the shark at one point, completely bringing his legs above the water in a handstand position. That's how I try to get out of a shark attack too. It appears the shark grabbed him by the upper torso. Oh, he wasn't doing a handstand. The shark was holding his upper half in his mouth.
Yikes.
Meanwhile,
Is his name Pavlov?
no,
Popov.
Popov. Yeah, not
Like that
Pavlov.
one Christian preacher dude
Yes,
on TV.
but apparently the shark was really salivating.
That's what I
Got
was
after him. Yeah, Pavlov's dog. Not as scary as Popov shark. You know what I'm saying? And then another animal that you would not expect to be a butthole is a hippo. But here we go. Hippos on parade.
Yeah.
The most recent instance of hippo on human violence took place in Malawi's Nsanji district. Hippo attacked a boat carrying over 30 people across the Shire River. The boat overturned and a 1-year-old toddler died. As a result, many others are missing. Hey, jerk hippo. We're just trying to get across the river, you jerk.
They're like
Hippos-
battering
aren't they like
rams. They run along the bottom of the river.
What's the point, though? You're not going to eat the people. What are you trying to knock the thing over for?
Aren't they like the deadliest animal?
I think they are the
They are.
deadliest
They
animal.
kill people all the
They're
time.
the biggest buttholes.
Though there's some talk that hippos get credit for some water buffalo
Okay.
fatality, so they can't really separate them.
I'm not no water buffalo kill me, but I ain't gonna mess with the hippo.
Well, you find somebody trampled in the woods, you sort of like,
Well, they're vegetarians
Hippo.
too, aren't they?
They're
They eat
a-holes. I
they eat
just told
acai
you.
bowls,
Yeah.
so they like
The
those.
boat was ferrying farm workers over to Mozambique, and the hippo attacked with the majority of the passengers, a whopping 23 in total missing. Well-wishers managed to rescue 13 people while the rest went missing, and again, the 1-year-old confirmed dead. Anyway, down with sharks, down with hippos, I say.
Yeah.
And the shark, I can't really fault him. I mean, sharks doing
that's
shark things.
Shark stuff.
It's like Nick Saban
People
doing
are always
Nick
like,
Saban
"Oh,
things.
sharks don't really want to eat people. They're just confused, and they thought he might be a seal.
No, they knew
But
what it
apparently he's
was.
delicious. Turns out the shark likes vodka.
Yeah.
Bummer for that guy.
If you don't go in their territory, they probably
Thank you.
won't get you.
I don't normally go out far enough to get. I mean, I'll go chest deep, so I guess I could have a shark incident, but I want to be
Yeah.
close enough where I can get back where I can run a little bit.
I'm also never
mean?
going to get close enough to a hippo in my life
No,
for that to happen.
no, I don't. Yeah, I don't like to get too deep in the ocean. McDonald's announced this week that it is celebrating Grimace's birthday. I'm actually on board with this, with the release of the new Grimace birthday meal, purple shake, and a Big Mac or a 10-piece chicken McNugget and fries.
I like it.
Yeah,
I grimace every time I eat their food. Does that count?
Pigskin. How many times do we have to talk about McDonald's being a sponsor? How many times do we have to talk about this?
Are they a sponsor?
Always. Always.
They're not a sponsor.
Yeah.
I never hear Wes do a
Just because we don't do ad-libs
ad lib for
on
McDonald's.
Anyway.
All right, I love McDonald's food. I grimace when I don't get McDonald's food. That's what I meant to say.
Think of it this
Said
way:
no
even
one
if
ever.
they're not a sponsor, they're
Yeah.
a potential sponsor.
That's right.
I don't care.
Saudis are coming after McDonald's.
I don't care. I'm sorry.
I still think every once in a while it's like
It's a good guilty
I need
pleasure.
some McDonald's. Yeah.
Yes.
There's
100%.
nothing quite
Christian,
like
you don't
fillet
eat
of fish.
vegetables. Of course you eat McDonald's. What else are you going to eat? You'd starve to death.
Oh, you're
Cereal and McDonald's.
You're the picture of health over here because he eats McDonald's. Come on now. Be nice.
Hey, shut up, man. I didn't bring you into this.
I'll stay out of it. I cannot believe we don't have this song in the system. Listen, here's a shake you can get behind, Pigskin. You know Keyless's song Milkshake?
Yeah.
My milkshake brings the boys to the
To the
yard.
yard, yeah.
You know who came to her yard?
Better than yours.
Bill Murray.
Zion
That's right.
Zion Williamson.
Bill Murray beat him to the punch.
Ah.
The veteran actor and the milkshake singer recently started hitting it off. Apparently, he's 72, she's 43.
Nice.
But he's funny. Listen, women are they say, "Oh, like, yeah, it's funny." Liar. You want a guy who's rich and good looking.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Murray is rich and funny.
If Bill
not
Murray
good-looking.
is running the Jiffy Lube, she wouldn't be over there with Bill Murray. Thank you.
Her second husband died in March of last year, and his estranged wife died in 2021. So
She's
There
already
you go.
been married twice.
pretty sweet, though.
Oh, that's
She's in her 40s.
Well,
Yeah, she was married to Nas,
okay. That's
and he had to pay her like $350,000 when they divorced. I think
350,000?
that's
Yeah.
a bargain.
It wasn't like $1 million.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not Steven
I don't know what he's
Spielberg
worth.
money
No, that's
when
not
he
bad.
divorced Amy
Probably
Irving.
worth a decent amount of money.
He paid Amy Irving $100 million. That was like 40 years ago. That's when $100 million was actually a lot of money.
Explains why I haven't seen her in any movies in a while.
No, she didn't. she bought a country and moved there.
Really?
She's the president now
Hmm.
of the country.
It's a good gig. Pigskin, do you buy this story that is going around the internet? A hidden Bible passage has been found over a century and a half later in the heart of the Vatican Library.
It says thou shalt commit adultery, right? No.
There's so many jokes I could make, but
Catholic.
because I respect my
Yeah.
Catholic brethren, I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
yeah, exactly.
turns
I
out
haven't thought of some.
it's not a crime.
Oh Oh man.
If they're under the age of
Yeah.
historians hunted down the lost excerpts of the Holy Book, and a historian believes the chapters are an unseen version of the Book of Matthew, my favorite.
Mhm.
Claiming it to be an extended edition of chapter 12, he says he found it at the Vatican Library earlier this year. And here they're trying to ban books in the States. Ultraviolet lighting was used to confirm the historic texts, which were written under layers of words on a palimpsest?
Palimpsest.
Palimpsest, yes.
An ancient manuscript. I figured you two nerds would know it,
Figures.
which could be written over.
David
Traces of the original
Corvidal's
writing were spotted,
Biography.
and he has since been translating it. So the original text from Matthew 12:1 is to have said, Pigskin, you want to quote this off the top of your head?
What verse?
1. At that time, Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath, and his disciples.
Plucking heads of grain on the Sabbath. They were eating them.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, they
but
said
the
you're
New
not supposed to do
Translation
that.
says, began to pick the heads of grain, rub them in their hands, and eat them. It's not the first baffling Bible find. It says, with Jesus recently making an appearance in a
No,
pot
they were
of
doing
homemade
this
Sunday
to
roast.
basically separate the wheat from the chaff. That's what they were. Anyway,
The wheat from the chaff.
anybody would know that, but yeah.
I think this is pretty. We're pretty nitpicky on the words. I mean, with the New International Version and the different versions, this is really kind
It
of.
doesn't change the meaning of that
No.
one bit.
Okay.
Not one bit. I thought it was going to be something like big about some moral issue. You know, thou shalt get drunk or something. But
Yeah.
anyway, nothing to see here, Officer Barb Brady.
And that's that. All right, Philip. Do we have any other movies to talk about before we do birthdays today?
Well, there's big robot movie.
Oh yes.
Big robot movie.
Listen, I throw this out at my 16-year-old son. I'm like, let's go see this movie. He's like,
I like big robots.
It's the 7th one. I mean, it's sort of like
hey, easy there, Fast and Furious. Come on now, 7's not so
Yeah,
many.
I
It's actually getting good audience reviews. I saw.
Okay, well, it got bad critic reviews, and I kind of like the concept and the trailer's great.
yeah,
These Transformers looks cool.
yeah. It's
Transformers, instead of transforming into human-like robots, they transform into animals.
And
Yeah,
it's
the
not
Rise of
Michael
the
Bay
Beast.
anymore.
Who
it's
is
not
it?
Michael Bay. It's who is it?
It's Kenny
I
Loggins.
don't remember.
He did one other film. I can't think of his. Yeah, but it's
One other film?
yeah.
They're like,
well,
hey,
no, a big film.
You
a
got
big
one under
film.
your belt. You can do a
Oh,
Transformers
geez.
movie, no problem.
I should have brought a newspaper in with me. That would actually.
Do you think it's
help.
harder or easier to direct a movie that is filled with CGI like this? Because I saw there were a
Some
lot
people are really good with CGI.
the Marvel people were complaining about what a crappy experience it is this week.
Right.
Christian Bale, and Anthony Hopkins were both complaining. They're like, "You can't act." He goes, "They slapped a beard on me and some armor, and what am I supposed to do?"
Right. Well, the Ant-Man, the latest Ant-Man, I mean, that was horrible. And a lot of it was just a CGI. I don't know. Some people really like the Avatar movies. And I just look at them and I'm like going, well,
I didn't see the second one.
Thank you. They're horrible.
well, it's
Yes.
just, I mean, it's just,
Wait, they're not a sponsor too, are they?
Listen,
I don't want to insult the guy that made Avatar because we
I
might
wish Disney was.
be
a
doing
Mikey, he
commercials
hates
with it.
everything. Don't mind
Yeah.
him.
I do not hate everything. I don't like Blue People movie or Marvel comic movie. I like
McDonald's.
movies.
I
some
got
of
you
this
down.
stuff with Transformers just doesn't really make any sense. So because they're these robots from outer space and they can fly and everything, but when they want to get someplace, they like transform into a car and they drive on the interstate, and stuff like that. It's just like,
I never understood that from the TV. I
Yeah.
used to watch the cartoon as a kid. I never
Yeah.
got it.
okay,
I'm like,
well,
why don't you just say it robot the whole time?
yeah, I
Optimus
just want to
Prime.
be an awesome robot.
Yeah,
I am
you know,
Optimus
Well, they're
Prime.
trying to
Blend?
in.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if you can get
because
from
they want to be like Clark Kent, I guess. I mean, it's just sort of like, yeah, they want to pass.
yeah, it's like when F-16 flies over. I'm like, I wonder if that's a transformer or an actual jet. What's the point? I don't understand it. And all they do is go around and fight with each other. So it's not like they're.
And now you can wonder if the tiger shark is an actual tiger shark or a Decepticon.
That's a good point. It's not like
Very
they're, but
good.
they're not trying to get a table at a Michelin restaurant. I mean, they're robots who fight with each other. I don't understand the point either. But it's still entertaining.
Yeah.
The first one with Shia LaBeouf was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, there are moments in these things, and I mean, they get good talent, they get good production values.
Wasn't Mark Wahlberg
This-
in one?
Yeah.
He
That's what I thought.
was.
So it wasn't bad.
Yeah, and the
Wahlberg
Bumblebee one
in
was,
one of those.
but
Huh.
I don't know. It's just
20 million
it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long again, and it's
Oh.
just sort of like, and it's.
You're
it
looking
was
for the
third or
40-minute
fourth one.
movie, aren't you? So
No,
you don't have to
90
spend much
minutes,
time with
89.
it.
Billy Wilder, 89 minutes to 110 minutes. That's fine.
Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, something
I
like
watched
that.
it, loved it.
But I remember one where it's sort of like I'm 20 minutes into the movie and I'm lost because it's all just flashing lights and noise. I mean, at some point it just becomes that to me. It's just
I threw
You're
my
such an old
family
man.
under the bus in a sermon a couple weeks ago because I brought up that movie Inception.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the worst piece of dreck that's ever been made in my life. I'm like, I hated that movie.
I love the
hated
movie, but I
everything
didn't
about
understand it. I still don't get it.
Thank you. Well, if I don't understand it, how can I like it?
I liked it, but I still don't I assume that I'm not smart enough to get it. It's
I
just like
hated it
it's
and
like
didn't
one of my
understand it.
it's
One
like
of my
Memento.
all-time-
Memento. I'm like, I still don't know what the hell's going on here.
Another one.
One of my all-time favorite bad reviews was of Inception, and the writer, who it was a local publication too. I'm not gonna, but he was like, if you don't love this movie, if this is not your favorite movie, you're just stupid. You're just stupid, and it's just sort
Guilty.
of like we're all stupid then.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't smart enough. It's like you have
It's
to
like-
you have to be able to hold a weight so you know how much something weighs when you
Oh,
go
yeah.
deeper
What
into
a-
your dream.
What a terrible movie.
Ah.
Man, it was bad. Everybody in my family loved it. They thought
I
was
liked
They
it.
thought it was Citizen Kane. Oh, that's great. I'm like, shut up.
I thought Citizen Kane blew,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, it's better than that. Rosebud.
I think Citizen Kane's the most overrated thing ever. Hey,
Better
Philip,
than Inception.
Philip, you know what I'd like for you to do sometime?
Yeah.
Come out with a top 10 list or top however many you want of the best long movies ever made.
The best long movies?
Yes.
Yeah, there's
He hadn't
there's
seen
some
any
good-
of them.
There's some good ones.
Yes, he
No.
has. I bet The Right Stuff is like 8 hours long.
No, the show was like-
was long.
Um,
I was
the-
on
the-
I was on an awkward date at that
Yeah.
movie. I'm like, is this ever gonna end?
I don't know if The English Patient is long or it's just
Oh, it
horrible.
feels like
Oh man.
I'm like, "Done!"
like 8 hours.
I'm like, bring them up again.
I don't mind a 2-hour and 20-minute movie. I didn't mind The Irishman or
I still
was
haven't seen
long.
that.
That
Yeah.
was long.
yeah, I don't mind those. It's just that 2 hours of robots fighting is just not what I'm. Of fake robots from outer space.
Oh, you want to see real robots? Hey, won't be long. They're AI.
Can a good movie be long?
Yeah, I think so.
What's the
You
best
go
long
see the
movie?
new
Dr.
Scorsese flick?
Zhivago.
No, what my
Well, I
point
don't
is, if it's
notice them when
good,
they're-
it doesn't
I
matter
don't
how
notice
long.
how long they are.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I'm saying.
Lawrence
Don't
of
notice how long
Arabia
they
was long.
Yeah,
Gone with the Wind was long. Had an
Well,
intermission.
It's like a good
Yeah.
football game. Even
Yeah,
if it goes 4 hours,
Godfather
who
was
cares?
long.
If
Exactly.
It's good.
Yeah.
but you're not thinking about it. And,
No.
you know, but I look at the.
Once Upon a Time in America is long. It was pretty good.
It's
That was long.
it is good. And
It is good.
long. It is long.
Okay. See, I just gave you a call.
There you go.
You're welcome. You didn't
Well,
need
you
that.
see the
idea.
new
Good
Scorsese flick that's like 3.5 hours long.
The new one?
Killers of the.
Oh, the Flower Moon.
That one looks
Yeah.
pretty. It looks
It
good
looks
though.
great.
I read
That's gonna be
the
good.
book was fantastic.
Book is
The book is great.
Books?
The book.
Book's
And
eye-opening,
the one I
too.
give you guys every year. You know, DiCaprio chose to play the heavy in this rather
Yeah.
than play the hero. I thought that was really interesting. Jesse Plemons is playing the hero.
that's interesting because Plemons is sort of like if DiCaprio was like an ordinary guy who ran a gas station. That's who Jesse Plemons is. He's a great actor.
Plemons was the most evil person in Breaking
Yeah,
Bad.
he was.
Where everyone in Breaking Bad was evil.
Who
And
is
he
he?
was worse than all of them. He was the guy that shot that kid off the bicycle.
shot the
He's
so
got
they
the
weren't
orange
any
hair.
witnesses.
motorbike kid. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he was in
What else is he in?
You'd know him if you saw him.
He was in Bridge of
Oh, you would-
Spies. He played one of the pilots. and-
He's in Love and Death, the HBO series.
Why don't you name every movie I've never seen?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you should see Love and Death.
What was,
Okay, I will.
What was the thing that he saw with that was the
It's not your fault I haven't seen
That's
it.
right.
it was the thing that Woody and McConaughey were in True something
True Detectives.
True
True
Detectives.
Detective.
He was in like the second or third season
Yeah,
of
he
True
was in- he
Detectives.
was in there,
Jesse
too.
Plemons. Oh yeah, that little
yeah.
butthole.
That
Yeah,
guy.
exactly.
I hate
that
him.
guy.
I hate his face.
Well, he's playing the hero in Killers of the Flower
I'm
Moon.
not seeing it. I
Yeah,
don't,
you
they
will.
miscast that. They
And
should have made
Robert's in
DiCaprio
it?
the hero.
Jason
Put him in.
Isbell's in that film too.
Is he really?
Jason Isbell he will be a
Album
great
out
actor.
today.
Yes.
Weather Veins. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I heard it was.
Really? Another one?
Really
Good.
great.
I just
yeah.
saw him not too long ago.
Brendan
Yeah.
Fraser's in the movie too.
Is he fat or
Oh,
skinny?
By the
He's
way,
probably
you,
hefty.
you guys
Yeah, he's
deserve
in-
credit for this. So I had like 35 minutes to kill, and I heard your discussion about Paul
Oh,
Simon.
Simon. Yeah.
Oh.
And I listened to the new album. It sent me spinning around in
33
circles.
minutes.
Really good, man.
Yeah.
Really good.
You love him short.
A lot of
Um,
eternity questions in there. A lot of the big
Mhm.
picture
Well, he's at
questions.
that
Been
point in
thinking
his
about
life.
the Great Migration.
Exactly. That's it.
My buddy says Shawshank is 2 hours and 22 minutes long, and it's the greatest movie ever made.
There you go.
That may be a little overstated, but he's right. It is a great
It's
movie.
a great
Yeah, it's-
movie.
I wanted it to
Nothing
be
wrong with
longer.
that, to
I'm
know-
like,
Do you trust your wife?
yeah, exactly. It's like, can we stay in Zawatnail for a little while longer? Let's just see what they do now. You guys gonna open a bait shop? What are you gonna do down here? I want some more.
They're gonna have a sequel to that,
Yeah,
don't we?
Shawshank 2.
Yeah, they're both 90 years
Zawatnail.
old now, and they're running a bait shop and a surf shop.
And they come and they catch you.
I like it.
And then,
Bring him back.
yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
You can't make him go to prison.
Extra
Yeah,
item.
no, Morgan Freeman
Brooks
has been
was here.
No,
Yes.
Morgan Freeman has been studying the entire time they're in Mexico to be a lawyer, and he comes back to defend him in court.
Ah,
Boom.
That just
And they
happened.
eventually get him off the hook. They've proved that
It's a court drama.
yeah.
this time.
But
There you
don't
go.
they have to break out of jail?
They already broke
They
out of
already
jail.
broke
once.
out of
They got to
jail.
do it again.
No. They're going to put him back in jail, and then he's going to defend him as a lawyer. No, Morgan Freeman's out free. He got out on.
Time served.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did something else to get thrown in jail.
No. My story's better.
He violated
Put screwed on my-
parole.
put screwed on my script, bro.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I
I
will
won't-
probably get a meeting on that one.
Listen,
That's got the AP.
My number
IP,
one, when the writer strikes over, my number one story that has to be told is 60 Candles. And I can't wait for that one to get done. That's the follow-up we need. Where is Jake? Did he and Molly ever get together?
Jake was awesome.
Jake was awesome.
He was in that,
wanna know
and
if
then
he-
Vision Quest, and then his career ended.
I want to know if he and Samantha ever got together. I got to
Right.
know. I got to know. There's so many questions I
Where's
have.
Long Duck Dong?
Whatever did Samantha's sister and the Bohunk stay together? Yeah, where is Long Duck Dong?
The Donga need food.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's a concept. You could do a whole streaming channel on these, just bring the cast back
That's what I'm
together.
saying. Instead of 16 and 60.
Automobile?
60
Yeah, this
Candles.
is like ESPN Classic sort of stuff.
I'm
You
an
just-
idea guy,
yeah.
Philip. That's what I do. All right.
Bring everything back.
I got an idea. Let's give away some 3 Doors Down tickets, okay? Now, listen, I want you to make sure you listen. I don't know if it's next week or in the next 2 weeks, but we're going to have Nickelback tickets to give away. And don't start with your Dragon Nickelback, pal, before you even start.
How did you know I was going to say that?
Because it's such a cliche. We don't do
Yeah,
that
it's
anymore.
pretty much.
It's so passe. Get over it already. Am I right?
All right, Hanson
Once
fan.
upon a Deadpool. Kind of prefer Marvel movies. We are Marvel. Yeah, but you're Marvel licensed by Fox. It's like if the Beatles were produced by Nickelback. It's music, but it sucks. Hey, that's it. I'm done. I've had it with all this Nickelback hating, all right? You think that makes you cool with the cool kids in school, Fred? No, it just makes me right. It doesn't. They're overproduced, formulaic ear garbage. Oh, really? You know who might disagree with that? Facts. 50 million albums worldwide, 11th best-selling musical act of all time, Billboard's most successful rock group of the last decade, 6 Grammy nominations, 12 Juno Awards, those count, 6 Billboard Music Awards, 2 American Music Awards, 1 People's Choice Award, Canadian, and a partridge in a pear tree. Sorry. I thought we were just having fun. I didn't realize it was you were, you gotta say you were nicer as a kid.
I will say this about Nickelback. They may be the 11th best-selling band of all time, but I say the same thing about Morning Mayhem. Just because you're popular doesn't mean you're good.
Chad
Right.
Kroger might be the biggest flim flam artist of all time. If if they've sold that many records, he deserves some credit for that.
I saw some video of him yesterday promoting the concert. The guy looks fantastic, I got to say.
Really?
Yes. He's
Okay.
aged really well.
Yeah.
They've been doing this a long time. Good for them.
Huh.
I don't hate him.
It's now time for Birthday Trivia in the Zone. Brought to you by Elia's Mexican Grill. Award-winning Mexican food made fresh daily. Take care of the misses in your life with a personalized tumbler from her boutique. Take exit 108 to Elia's in Morrilton.
But these are not for Nickelback tickets. They are for 3 Doors Down tickets. By the way, I've been told, I saw in the video, they revealed that there are a lot of pyrotechnics in the new show. Apparently, Chad Kroger loves pyrotechnics, and they haven't had any in the last couple of tours.
It's
So
very on brand.
it is. All right, this guy is an actor, and he gave the big FU to Disney recently. Apparently, they approached him about doing another movie, and he was not interested because they shunned him
Chris Hemsworth.
when his lunatic
DeSantis.
ex-wife claimed
Johnny
that he
Depp?
beat her. That's right, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Oh, I haven't
yeah.
heard. Yeah.
That was Johnny Depp.
Who's
Wes, if that is your real name.
He is 60.
He is. Bingo bango Wes.
Oh,
Good job.
That's
yeah,
a way to
yeah,
start.
yeah.
Yes.
This
Good
woman
job.
is an actress.
Jane Fonda.
And
Amber Heard.
you idiot. This woman's an actress, and she
Rosie
there's a
O'Donnell.
story that came out this week that her ballerina
Natalie
husband
Portman.
Oh man, yeah,
stepped
the
out
Black
on her.
Swan.
I mean, how are you going to cheat on Natalie Portman when you're a ballerina?
Mm.
I mean, not that I don't respect him as a ballerina, but you're not going to do any better than Natalie Portman, dummy.
Maybe he's like the Michael Jordan of ballerina. Maybe he's
I
like
don't
the
care.
greatest ballerina.
I don't care if he's Mikhail
Andrew Booth.
Baryshnikov. You
She
don't
was
step
great
out
in
on
Beautiful
Do they
Girls.
call them ballerinas? I thought that was just a...
Listen, he's
Is
a
there a
ballerina in my
male-
book.
Okay, fine enough. Good enough.
He also
Ballets.
called him a stewardess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
What do you call him? Ballet
Dancer.
ballerina.
ballet dancer. There you go.
Bella
That's a
That's
mouthful,
probably
though.
another name. but-
Listen, I
a
call him.
boat-
I call
it's
him
a
Dum Dum. Is what I
Toreador.
call him.
Balladudas.
She was in Your Highness. That's a classic. She was won Academy Award for Black Swan. I'll tell you an underrated movie, V for Vendetta. That's a creepy little film. Really is.
Key Fox.
Yeah.
So I like that one.
Exactly.
How's Natalie Portman there, Philip Martin? Oh, by the way, Wade, you're with Wes. Alex, you're with Philip. Jimmy, you're with Christian. And Joe, you're with the
Okay,
pigskin.
give me
You got to know your
time here. I'm
Jimmies and your
adding it
Joes.
up.
How old's Natalie?
41.
No, she's not. Christian.
44.
39.
40. What's the difference? What'd you say?
Try to pay attention, bud.
You said 40. You said 44. 40.
Phil's playing the game.
What? 43.
No point awarded. She's 42.
Whoa, we were all around it.
You were. This guy is a big reason why. Anyway, I won't say that because that's
Matt Damon.
It's too inside. It's too inside baseball. This guy is a sportscaster, basketball,
Joe Buck.
former
Bob Costas.
college and NBA coach.
Dick Vitale.
That's
Jeff
correct.
Lincoln.
Okay.
Thank you, Wes. Christian, how old's my man Dick Vitale? Dickie V, baby.
Big
It's his
Vitale,
birthday, baby.
84.
He is. Bingo bango. Christian's on fire.
Wow.
I didn't know he's that old.
This guy played Alex P. Keaton on television.
Michael
Michael
J.
Fox.
Fox.
I think Pigskin got it.
Yeah.
All right, pigskin by a nose. How old is he? Marty Pants.
64.
63.
Nope.
62.
Yep. Good
That's
job,
the way
Phil.
you play.
That's how
You guys are pathetic.
Former NFL outside
I actually kinda
linebacker,
knew that.
University
I
of
know that
Arizona graduate. He
Plenty
played
of often.
his entire career for the Patriots. He's now a broadcaster.
Teddy Bruschi.
That's right, Teddy Bruschi, Wes.
Look at you.
Who's up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wes. Bruschi.
50.
E. Bingo bango. Look at Wes.
Wow.
Takes the lead. And last but not least, this guy started playing professional basketball.
Bill Russell.
Excuse me.
He's dead.
In 2003. He is still
LeBron
playing
James.
professional basketball today.
Love. Kevin Love.
No.
He has played his entire
Udonis Haslam.
Wes Moore is on
Yeah,
fire
yeah.
today.
Yeah.
By the way, Udonis Haslam did something that no one else will ever do. He was named to the coaches all SEC team 4 times. It'll never happen
Never
again.
happen again.
Because if you make it once, you're going pro.
Pretty much. Wow.
How old is Udonis today? I kind of gave you the answer there to some degree.
43.
He's 43, Philip. Bingo bango.
Yes.
Wes Moore cruising to victory. Good performance today, folks. Really tight out there. Really good work. Really good work. Wade, congratulations. Enjoy your 3 Doors Down tickets. All right, we got to take a time out. We come back. We'll get more from Philip, and we will have a rewind from the week that was. A lot of baseball talk, sadly. Not much baseball talk now.
There's no joy in Mudville.
Yeah.
Mighty Casey?
That struck out.
Oh, that son of a gun.
A lot of action this weekend, horse racing wise. And you can go to your Oakline Anywhere app to make some bets on these big races. The races are already underway, by the way. You got a $150,000 slot tournament every Saturday in June. That is from 7-Eleven. Join them at Oakline for the red, white, and blue slots tournament. It's every Saturday in June. Grand finale is on July 1st. And Oakline Sports is now accepting debit and credit cards through their Play Plus. This makes it even easier to bet on Oakline Sports. Some of the entertainment coming your way. You got Randy Hauser tonight, Chris Jansen on July 2nd, Ricky Skaggs and the Kentucky Thunder July 14th, the Four Tops August 25th, and the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band September 10th. Tickets on sale right now at oakline.com. That is your website to book your room, to get the spa treatment at the Astral Spa. Make your summer getaway plans today at Oakline in Hot Springs.
12:38. We're talking about first bands we ever saw in what was your first concert, Philip?
I don't know. I really don't. I do know I saw the kickoff show for Hotel California when the Eagles kicked that tour off.
It's pretty
But
fantastic.
that wasn't the first show I ever saw.
Wes's was
AC/DC.
Christian.
Train.
That's not bad.
When I was like 10,
Is
maybe.
that the Drops of Jupiter people?
Yeah.
Van Halen, 1982 for me.
Where'd you
Cobo
see him?
Hall
Good
in
one.
Detroit.
Oh,
that was awesome.
And your wife saw the Beatles for her first
Topper,
concert.
yeah, she saw the
Boy,
Beatles.
Karen. I mean, that's a spoiler alert. I mean, golly, you're ruined.
Beatles, man.
I had nowhere to go but up. My first concert wasn't even a concert. Turns out.
Hey, you blamed it on the rain.
I sure did.
Yes, you did.
I did. If it is raining, I know the guys who have some gear for you to get out and about in. That's Max Prairie Wings. But listen, it's sunshine time, so let's get out on the water. Now's a great time to get back out there and do some fishing. And the team at Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart is ready to help you out. They are your Tohatsu outboard dealer. Tohatsu outboards affordably priced and backed by a 5-year warranty. Max offers competitive prices, in-house financing, and a great service center with certified Tohatsu technicians. Fishing rods to guns, casual summer clothing, or a new Tohatsu outboard, whatever you need. Max Prairie Wings has got what you want for summer fun. Stop down and see them in Stuttgart and go to their website as well, maxpw.com. All the items are listed on there, and it's pretty ridiculous. You can go on the menu tab and look through all the different brands that they've got to offer at Max. It is phenomenal. It is truly an adult's playground down there, so go by and see them. Phil, before we do the rewind real quick, what else is coming out here in the next couple of weeks? We got anything big on the
Well,
horizon?
the thing I'm really looking forward to, and I think I talked about this. I may not talked about it on the air, was the Yogi Berra documentary. It's coming out
Yeah,
next week.
his granddaughter produced it.
Yeah,
didn't she?
and it's really cool. It's really a lot of fun. It's it's gonna I know it's gonna open here in theaters, which is unusual because
In
it's
my
a pretty small
estimation, he
film.
was the second greatest catcher who ever played Major League Baseball.
Where is it going to? It's going to show at a theater. Or this
Yeah,
is going to be.
it's going to be at Riverdale at least.
Okay.
I know it may be at some others, but it's going to be at Riverdale. And
Hmm.
it's just a cool little documentary.
How long is it?
It's about it's about 3 hours and 14 minutes. No, I think it's about 90 minutes. It's
Okay.
right.
He was a baseball genius.
Uh,
He really was.
If you really look at it, he very likely was the best player of the 1950s.
It was.
And the reason
I'll
that
take
he's
your word for it.
his best friend Joe Garagiola sort of did him a misservice because he made him into a clown.
That's right.
On Game of the Week. Was always talking about Yogi says this, Yogi did that, like that, and made him sort of this. But for a guy who's like 5'7" and 185 pounds,
Hit for average, hit for power,
Hit
hit
for
in the
power.
clutch, best
Yeah.
defensive catcher. He's just a baseball savant.
and caught 150
Yeah,
games a year.
was.
I mean, just sort of
Called Don Larson's perfect game. Didn't
won
miss a
3
pitch.
MVPs in the 50s.
Remember that he jumped into his
Yeah.
arms.
Yeah,
Looked like a little.
exactly.
See, you know that.
Looked like a
That's
little
right.
baby.
Good.
And was
Oh,
apparently a nice guy, unlike
He
some
was
of those other
he was a
Yankees.
small, physical, tough Italian.
Some of
He's
some
your
of those
type.
some
okay?
of those other catchers too.
Yeah.
Johnny Bench is a real butthole.
Yeah. I've heard that before.
Well, he was in our studio one day and he was an a-hole.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like, why don't you shut it, Red? I don't even like the Reds. I think they'd take you out of the Hall of Fame.
I haven't heard anybody that ever met
like
him
Tony
that liked
Perez
him.
better.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was sad.
Who was the greatest catcher ever?
Bench.
Probably.
But Barrett
ever
did
see
it over
Jody
a
Davis
longer
play?
period of time. Bench got injured and probably got cheated out of 5.
Wes and I are in the
7
Pudge
years.
camp.
Yep.
Let's go Pudge.
Yeah, Pudge defensively might have been Pudge.
Couldn't
yeah.
hit as well as Bench.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Couldn't throw as well as Bench.
Mm,
No, he
Yeah.
couldn't. I saw them both. You did not. Bench,
Sorry, I'm not
Bench
80.
threw better.
Ooh, God.
Well, Bench threw better. I'm just telling you.
Mm.
Don't be offended. You will know
Eisenhower.
the truth,
I
and the
won't
truth
take your
will
word
set you
for it.
free. Oh, I saw.
No
it.
one's saying Bill Dickey. Yeah.
Dickey was a great player.
There you go. Him I
Named a
didn't say.
ballpark after him.
Now it's time to look back. It's the best interview and show moments of the week. It's the Zone Rewind. Brought to you by Mosquito Joe's. Don't let pesky bugs spoil your summer. Mosquito Joe rids your yard of mosquitoes, fleas, and ticks so you can enjoy being outside. Call 501-508-2528 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com for a free quote. Mention the buzz and you'll get your first service for just $39.
Josh Hart was in the news this week, the NBA player talking about a very taboo topic, but we did a poll this week. Christian, you remember how the breast milk poll came out?
Let me find out. I think it was overwhelmingly no.
Have you ever tasted breast milk? Was the question. Apparently, Josh Hart has. Everybody's like, I don't want to talk about this.
85% of new dads at least wonder what breast milk tastes like. We had family over that day. When they asked me, they're like, have you tried changing breast? I'm like, no, I haven't tried it. But if I ever do, I want the whole charade. I want to be burped. I want to be cradled. I want everything. Somehow I got finessed into doing like a blind tasting. So we had like almond milk, a creamer, and breast milk. Tried it, obviously. And it was vanilla flavored almond milk. That's how it tasted. I literally took the blindfold off after I tasted it. I'm like, damn, this is actually like not bad. It doesn't taste bad. I was like, this got to be the breast milk. And like, I just knew because it tasted the best out of all of them. So then I was just like, I'm going to tweet it and just see what people think.
Well, we think you're weird.
Yeah, 86% say no, they have not.
Yeah.
Who's talking about that publicly?
Josh Hart.
He did it unprompted as well.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Ugh.
Jace Borfin was on with us this week. He says there's a chance he'll come back. We all expect him to be playing professional baseball next year. Probably taking a pay cut and enjoying worse travel than he is now.
Our season came to an end yesterday. Just ran to a really good team at TCU. They were pretty much firing on all cylinders. They can really swing it. They can pitch, man. So they're going to be a really tough team to beat. Whoever, I think they play Indiana State. So they're going to be a tough challenge for them and whoever else they keep winning. But as a season as a whole, I thought our team, man, we grinded all season long, overcame adversity whenever it was put in our face. All the injuries we had, guys stepping up. I think it just kind of speaks to just the team morale and the chemistry. Like I say all the time, with just guys just wanting to go out there and just win for one another. But I couldn't be more proud of this team.
We also had Hagen Smith on, and Hagen had a weird regional in that he got pounded by TCU in his first outing, and then he came back the next day and had them all off balance. There were some suggestions that something was amiss, like maybe he was tipping pitches. Wes asked him about it. We're always looking for excuses. Typical Razorback fans.
We talked with Bubba Carpenter on Monday, and there was some speculation up at Baum Walker Stadium. I heard it from more than one person that maybe you were tipping your pitches and TCU was reading something, and they knew when that slider was coming, and they were just watching it go instead of swinging at it. Does that theory hold any water?
No, I mean, I don't think so, honestly. I think I just had a good approach. I mean, they know I throw slider a lot usually during the season, so they just hit fastball. Yeah, I mean, they just hit it. I think I had to adjust with the next day I came out. I just did more cutters.
So you didn't change anything as far as possibility of tipping or changing your approach. It was just different pitches.
Not. Yes, sir.
Hagen later agreed to come back on the show next year, but I don't know why he would. Every day that he came on, it was like, man, too bad you couldn't go deeper in the game. Jeez, you really walked a lot of guys. Gosh, you're tipping your pitches. You really suck. Can't wait to talk to you next week. You're pretty hard on him, Wes.
You had the best answer about that when your pal in the afternoon neighbor said, "Well, they were reading the first two pitchers, and they got the runs." Justin said, "Yeah, they only scored 9 runs off the other guys." And I'm like, that's kind of it.
TCU's on fire.
It's actually better, I think, to think you were tipping your pitches and they were just hitting your stuff.
Sure.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he adjusted. They're hitting everybody's stuff right now.
Yeah. 20 runs. They had to be cheating. It's like, no, you just weren't pitching very well.
I have a funny feeling
that $500 bats they use.
Thank you.
I have a funny feeling they will hit Indiana State pitching just dandy
they're gonna kill
in
those
Fort
guys.
Worth this weekend as well.
Plus Larry Bird shows up.
Pigskin, listen, there are lots of things you dislike, like Nickelback, for example.
Creed.
I want you to start saying hate like Rory does because it's cute.
How's he say it?
Like this.
I still hate Liv. I hate Liv. I hope it goes away, and I would fully expect that it does. And I think that's where the distinction here is. This is the PJ Tour, the DP World Tour, and the PIF. Very different from Liv. All I've tried to do is protect what the PJ Tour is and what the PJ Tour stands for. And I think it will continue to do that. So look, going forward, I hope that there's, there may be a team element and you're going to see maybe me, maybe whoever else play in some sort of team golf, but I don't think it'll look anything like Liv has looked. And I think that's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing too.
Yeah.
What was that again?
I still hate Liv. I hate Liv.
I guess they're not going to get any forgiveness.
No, well, they're not going to
heat.
He's not going to get
Jay
him
Monahan for making me to say no to $300 million.
They're not going to. They're not going to put him on the Live Tour anytime soon. I don't think he cares. So it's all good. All right, we got to hit our final timeout. We'll come back and wrap it up. We'll get John Neighbors in here, see what they're doing on Out of Bounds on this Friday. When we come back, we'll also try to find out what's happening out at Gwatney. All right, maybe the greatest duo of all time. I mean, Simon and Garfunkel, Hall & Oates, Milli Vanilli. All right, 12:52. We're wrapping things up here. We're going to be out at Gwatney next Friday, 1 week from today, hanging with James Miller and the folks over there. But we're going to check in with James, who's been a little elusive this week. I guess you must be busy, James. End of the month and on into June here. How are you today?
Well, I am great, Justin. I wish I could say that I had been, but I actually snuck away to Canada. I went north of the border with a little fishing trip and didn't have any service up there, so
gotcha.
Wasn't able to catch any calls last week. But
did you
I'm
happen
back
to
work
start any?
now, so I'm back and ready to roll.
The cool thing right now is, James, all the fish up there come smoked.
I was
Good
gonna.
one. Yeah, they do.
Christian wants to know if you were up to any nefarious
Yeah,
activities.
did you
I
happen
think.
to start any fires while you were up there?
No, we were not responsible for these fires. We did not even build a campfire out there. We're careful.
Okay, that's
Careful.
free. How did you do on the fishing trip?
Well, I'm going to give you this number, and I've told all the salesmen that there's three boats that went up there. So we had 6 of us, 2 in each boat, but we caught 2,044 smallmouth bass in 5 days. So it's a big number. Everybody's like, "What? Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No, I'm not kidding. We count them all every day to see how many we can get to, and 2,000 fish in 5 days. It was incredible.
I mean,
fingers are sore. I can't even pick up a fish anymore.
I can't imagine. I mean, bro, if you had nets, that would be an incredible haul. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Do you always bass fish when you go up there?
Yeah, we do. That's what we do. We go for smallmouth. Of course, you catch a lot of other stuff. You catch pike and walleye.
Yeah, I went walleye fishing up there a couple times. It was great. Or on the boundaries, the waters at least.
Yep.
Where were you in Canada?
It's great. We're in Ontario. We're just about probably 2 hours northeast of International Falls, Minnesota.
Nice. Yeah.
Go up there. It's a pretty remote place. No cell service. It can be kind of nice at times, but when you're trying to find out if the Razorbacks are winning the regional or not, it made it kind of tough on me.
James, I got to be honest. I was sitting in the stadium and I was wishing I had no cell service. So, listen.
Oh yeah, I'm probably glad I wasn't watching. I've been a little frustrated, but
Yeah, I saw somebody had put online. They're like, "Is anybody else having problems with ESPN Plus?" And I was like, "I wish I was." I had to watch that nonsense. But anyway, hopefully your sales staff is hitting like TCU's bats were over the weekend. How are things over in at Gwatney and Jacksonville?
oh, it's great. We've been busy. Good start to the month, and we've got the biggest discounts right now, Justin. We've had probably for 3 years now. You get up to $7,500 off Silverados in stock when you have a 2009 trade-in or newer. So if you got a trade-in 2009 or newer, up to $7,500 off our Silverados, which is actually the biggest discount we've offered in more than 2 years, I know. And we've got those in stock. We've got a lot of Silverados to choose from, so you don't have to kind of settle for something you don't want. You can actually get the truck you want for that type discount.
I love it. Well, that's good. Well, I hope a lot of people come over to see you guys then. Speaking of fishing, did you ever get rid of that boat? Did you guys ever sell that thing?
We did sell the boat. We did it. It's probably due to your great ad you put out there on it. I'm sure it had something to do with it.
I'm guessing. I got another theory on it, James, but I won't bring it up on the air. I'm guessing James like I don't care whatever they want to offer. Just get it off my lot, please.
Just take it. Would you just take it?
Maybe more likely.
That's a nice boat. Somebody
It
got a great
was.
deal on that.
No doubt. Okay, cool. Well, listen, we're going to be over there next Friday. We look forward to seeing you. I appreciate you. And I'm going to holler at you after this show. But go by and see James and the folks. Again, if you got a 2009 or newer you're trading in, $7,500 off a new Silverado. You kidding me? Forget about it. It's crazy.
Time to roll.
I love
Time
it.
to come by Gwatney. That's right.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you, James. Have a great weekend.
All right. See you.
All right, John Chambers is here. And I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. I wish we were in Fayetteville getting ready for a super, but instead, alas, we get to hang out here, buddy.
That's right.
What else up with you?
Yeah, well, today's an easy Friday show. We're going to have a loaded one for you because I'll have Mark the Magician's going to join us. Going to have Peyton Stovall joining us, talk about
really?
his surgery recovery that he's going through. And
I saw the picture he put out on social yesterday.
yeah. So he's doing good. So we'll have Steve Sullivan on too. And also since Razorback Track's going, Bob Holt's going to join us because he's been doing a great job covering it. So he's going to give us a quick update on how everything's going over there, which I guess it's not going great, but he knows a lot more about track than me. So,
Same. Is he in Austin?
Actually, I don't know. I should have asked him. I know he said he was covering it, so I assume that probably meant he was in Austin.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
That's good.
So yeah, he does a great job of it. So,
Yeah, pole vaulters for the first time in a long time didn't get it done, apparently.
yeah, it's amazing how that works out. It's almost
It
like
is.
Arkansas sports.
You upset about it?
I mean, hey, there's always next year.
It's true.
Yeah, it's kind of the way.
Spoken like a
Must have been cheating over there. Must have had those.
Spoken like a
must have had the juiced vaults over there. Apparently,
They were greasing their poles.
Greasing their poles.
Yeah, greasing their poles.
That's what it was.
Has to be an excuse every single time.
There's no doubt, buddy.
Yeah, huh?
Listen, I appreciate it. I'll be tuned in. Make it interesting. It's Friday, for God's sakes.
I'll try my best. To do
Okay.
so.
I'm going to need more than that.
Okay.
12:57. We're handing it off. Out of Bounds coming up next. Stay tuned. Thanks for being with us this week. Appreciate you, Pigskin. Philip, good stuff. Wizard, as always. We're back with you Monday. Have a great, safe weekend. Stay tuned for Out of Bounds. Adios, amigos.